find yourself spending for everyday rewards, choose RCDC Flex Visa. 2 times rewards on your preferred categories. RCDC Flex Gold Visa for higher limits and enhanced perks.
Oh, how did I know?
Whoa, that's a crazy prediction.
Yeah,
You're really on fire today.
Yeah, I just know it all.
You are a bit of a know-it-all. Let's get into game number 1.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a look at the draft.
I think one pick I'm particularly interested in is the Rise, because both Faker and Showmaker have been, I mean, it's really strong, right? But both Faker and Showmaker have been heavily prioritizing it in particular. So I'm interested to see if that does come out and if teams have prepped, if it does come through, specific counters. Because we've seen the Cassiopeia, we've seen the Anivia work to great effect. Obviously, T1 having first pick, they're in a better position. Right now, we're just kind of banning the OPs with Malphite, Varus, and Jace getting taken out. The Bard ban, phenomenal from D+. Wow.
It can be difficult when you're, especially when you're second pick, to ban Bard, because there's a lot of stuff to ban. Like, Rumble is still available here. I think you almost definitely have to ban that one. No, never mind. They're just going to ban Nocturne, so...
Okay, so
Rumble's up.
Rumble's open, and there's a lot of mids available, so I don't think you need to take mid here, because there's Azir, there's Orianna, there's Ryze. I expect them to lean on the Rumble, but actually, they're like, no, out of all those mids, we really, really prioritize the Azir. That's how much emphasis we put on this. We care more about that than getting the Rumble, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think it's fine, you know, with Viband as well. You have a little bit less synergy with the Rumble, but Rumble is just so strong that I do feel like it still has to be picked here by DK, because you do not want to give both Azir and Rumble to T1. So that'll be an easy selection there. But what are they going to go with for their next pick? Did they try to get a top jungle, or maybe even something like a Yunara? We've seen it being picked more in game 1, even though there is still a lot of potential lockdown.
I think going Ori is the pick that you go if you just don't want to show your hand, because as also when T1 respond on their 2-3, if you haven't picked up your mid laner, D+ are locked into it on their third pick, so they have no flexibility. So I think going Ori here means you have more flexibility on that third pick. You can react a bit more to whatever T1 take, which looks like it's going to be this Ambessa. Now the question to me is, are you going to keep this as a flex, and on that third pick potentially pick an AD carry up, or are you going to just show your hand and take maybe a jungler here to pair up, or a top laner, and have this Ambessa in the jungle?
Ambessa's a really good pick. You want to take that away from Shu anyway.
Yeah, I think so, especially given it obviously is fearless. Taking that away from Shu and not letting him play it for the entire series, a lot of value. Doran's had some great games on it if it does go to him. But I think keeping it as a flex and getting an AD carry here could be pretty a strong strategy as well. But they are just going to go for the Jarvan here. So Ambessa for Doran. Jarvan coming through, which I think especially Jarvan Azir into an Orianna, a little bit uncomfortable, given that you are an immobile mage. So when your flash is down, you have a lot of vulnerability. And also, when I'm thinking about AD carry picks, you kind of need an immobile AD carry here into what T1 are putting up. You can't really play something like a Feliosia, I feel like, unless you're really...
mobile carry, right?
A mobile carry. You really will struggle to play something like a Feliosia unless you're like playing pixel perfect, or you have a lot of peel. There's just a lot to get on top of you.
Yeah, they also take the Jarvan away from the Orianna, so it could be very nice, you know, especially against if T1 wanted to go for something immobile, then you could potentially have Jarvan and Orianna with the Rumble over the top with the Equalizer. Could be kind of dead meat for any AD carry that doesn't have a dash. So taking a look now at what we're going to get into in the bottom lane. We did see Xin Zhao picked by Lucid. Another pretty good ball carrier, not the tippy top tier, but
yeah,
pretty good.
Eco still open and available. Probably going to get a look in terms of bans. Sivir taken away, I think makes sense as well, because you're never really going to be able to pick it as D+ because you're into a Jarvan, to deny it from the other side. The Yunara ban comes through. I think also makes a good amount of sense, because even though there's a lot of lockdown from T1, it's not like targeted. And you don't really want to go. I don't like Nautilus with Jarvan because the terrain kind of interrupts you being able to follow up in the Cataclysm. So they'll just take that one away. Are they going to risk leaving the Nico I mean, I guess. Okay, they take away the Kaiser, so Kaiser Nico not going to be a possibility.
You can still play Nico.
I mean, it has good pairings.
Yeah. It's definitely a very strong pick for Carrier.
I mean, also for D plus as well.
Yeah.
So it could be T1 want to deny it here.
This music is great. I'm really liking this. Nami.
Good vibes.
Going to be banned away.
I think D plus could honestly, I think the suspicion with the Nami ban is that it could have just been like Nami Corki. They could just go Corki here. They could also look to secure the Nico. Nico in a Jarvan is sometimes a little irritating though, because again the Cataclysm stops you from doing like rocket belt combos. You can't just get caged and killed. Corki would be like very safe just to pick up here. But Smash confident on the Ezreal is going to lean towards that. And again, you need something mobile into T1's composition to deal with the fact that you're into a Jarvan, an Azir, and an Ambassador already.
We know Smash's Ezreal is great. I don't think it should be a big surprise to see him pick it up there, unless they were going to go for Corki, which might be the pick of Pays. Doesn't have to be, but Corki has definitely been a very strong pick in the 80 carry role nowadays. Even just acting alone. Nico is something you've been talking about a lot. That's going to be snatched up there by Carrier.
Yeah, there's a risk here that D plus go Ezreal Karma, and Karma can really punish the Nico in lane, but I think Carrier definitely a player who's confident to take that matchup. The question is, what are you pairing with the Nico? They go Jhin. So playing for a bit of lane pressure. Also with the amount of setup your team has already, you can just ult to follow up. D plus will just go to Karma, yeah. Not too much of a surprise. I think what you kind of need into the Nico to really contest the lane. I think if you go melee support, you just need to pull it out completely. Also, the fact that you have like the shielding from the Orianna, the shielding from the Karma. Enchanters in general with Xin Zhao, really powerful. One thing is that you are kind of lacking CC with this D plus composition. You know, we talk about Rumble Equalizer, not the greatest setup for it. You're kind of just freeballing it. So,
and to your engage as well, it's like you've got Shockwave or you've got like Xin Zhao who either directly charges in or like charges up his Q and then flashes on. So it's very easy to see coming. You know exactly what you're going to be looking at, and as you mentioned, there's not a lot of setup for your damage dealers as well. They do have a lot of damage in the comp, but I do wonder if they'll be able to actually layer the damage if everybody's moving around on T1.
Yeah, I think the D plus is going to be important getting to an objective first, landing some poke, and then when T1 come in, they have to kind of like disengage and peel back and be wary of like approaches from like a Nico from a flank and stuff like that. I think T1 on the other hand have so many engage options from their composition, so many ways of starting a fight, getting in, and I think their composition as a result is going to feel a lot easier to play. The only thing I'm really concerned about is the fact they did let the Rumble go over. Doran not going to have the most fun in that top lane matchup, but I'm sure he'll be able to hold his own.
Yeah. His Ambessa also very strong, and I do think they have tons of damage in that composition and lots of setup in the team fights for the Ambessa to access the back line and do some damage. So definitely feel like T1's comp, especially from ahead, should be in a very good spot. In terms of the lanes, you've got the Rumble winning against the Ambessa, especially early on. The mid lane can be a little bit difficult before level 6 for the Azir. And Ezreal Karma can certainly put on pressure. So DK, they have lanes that can win and get them ahead. And that might be part of their win condition here.
Yeah, that's one of my concerns though, right? We've seen situations where teams have gotten ahead against T1 really far ahead, maybe even 13,000 gold ahead, and then haven't been able to push it over the edge. I do think this isn't that composition though. I do think they have some picks that scale well into the later stages of the game, but you're hoping for early dragon stacking, you're hoping for a strong soul that can kind of just funnel you into the later stages of the game and be confident there for the side of D+, and you really can't afford to make any major missteps.
Never-ending story, limitless. It's a very cool picture. It's, I think it's on all of the fan signs that we do have here for T1 at least. When you come into Law Park, you can choose, which team's fan sign you want, and the D+ Kia looks like they just have the logo on the back. You can kind of see it through the writing there on these fan signs. As you guys might have noticed, we do have a small delay, just trying to get back into the match and hopefully get into this game one. We're going to learn a decent amount about what this series is going to look like. I say a decent amount because, yesterday we had Nongshim starting 2-0, and we were like, that's not what anyone really expected, it to be so one-sided. And it kind of looked like it was just going to go 3-0, but then finally KT, woke up and did something and made it a 5-game series. But
another thing to take into account is that we did change patch, and it wasn't the biggest patch in the world that we went on to, but it's still a new patch, and that does mix things up a little bit for these teams. So I feel like that's an aspect of it, right? T1 and D+, this is the first time they're playing on 26.2, and that extra element has some impact at least. I don't think really when we look at this draft, there's too much that's been impacted by it here, but definitely if teams have taken a little bit of time away, and when you think about it, there has been a decent amount of time since both these teams have played, given that we are on the weekend and they haven't played since last week. Time to kind of go, okay, new patch, haven't got a lot of time off, a lot of time to scrim, a lot of time to prepare. What are we going on into specifically this one singular opponent we're focused on? It is more like a playoff series compared to playing, the 2 times a week best of threes that we've had in the earlier stages of the Lck Cup.
There are so many Smash fans. They're all kind of like, there's a big group of them right here. That Korean name that you can see, that's his name. And you can even see the one English sign, that's the Smash. Definitely a lot of people jumping on the Smash hype train. Oh, what are we going to get? Doran POM! All right, that is going to be T1's fortune today. That's what she said.
Can't dispute it,
Yeah.
I actually have one of these underneath the caster desk, and that's how I decide my POM. Whenever you hear me stalling after the game, it's because I'm trying to reach under, grab it, and spin it.
Yeah. And I noticed the wheel didn't have any options for DK winning. Strange.
Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe she has seen the future as well.
Maybe there's someone on the D+ side who has their own wheel. And that's
maybe.
Yeah.
They should. I mean, otherwise they're kind of getting outwheeled. Maybe it's not in their wheelhouse. I mean, if you don't have a house for the wheel, then, it's not really much wheeling that you're going to have.
Where do you think that fan houses that wheel?
She probably brought the wheelhouse with her, maybe like a little box.
It looks pretty delicate. No, It looks well made. Don't get me wrong, but it does look delicate. Especially if you're getting here by public transport. Public transport is great in Seoul, but if you're bumping into people, if it's quite busy, especially on the weekend, you do want somewhere to house that wheel that keeps it safe and secure. So, definitely need to keep that in mind.
Just looking at all the different fan signs. From what I can tell, I thought we were close, but perhaps not. It looks like we have some extra delay. So Faker was apparently giving away dessert because he did win the season opening event. So that was one of the perks for being the champion.
Yes, I assume that's the lid from the dessert. That's not why we're delayed.
Oh, that's not the dessert right there?
I think that's the lid.
Plastic.
The plastic's the lid for it. That's not why we're delayed, by the way. He's not giving out desserts now.
Yeah,
That's just what the sign is referencing.
It would be funny if he just got off the stage because there was a delay.
Oh!
There it is, I guess. You got some fruit.
Oh, is that there we go.
Cake. I didn't get any Faker dessert yet.
Yeah, well, you didn't deserve it. Looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks like carrot cake maybe, and then you got pineapple and grapes and maybe watermelon. What's your favorite fruit? What's your go-to?
My go-to fruit? I know what yours is.
Really?
Banana.
Well, it is my ID.
I knew it.
It's not my go-to.
I see you eat a banana like every day.
Yeah, it's because they give out bananas here.
Oh my God,
They don't
Brendan.
give out other fruit.
You can't eat something every day and be like, oh yeah, they're just whatever.
I mean, it's only like 3 times a week. I do enjoy bananas. Like, I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just not my go-to.
Okay, well, what's your go-to that you eat more than bananas, even though you eat bananas every single day?
You know, I'm a pretty simple guy. It's just apples.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just red apples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
I
Safe.
usually eat one right after breakfast.
Okay. I think mine is
Do you eat fruit?
Yes. That's why it's difficult.
It's
because-
pretty expensive in Korea.
Because I have varied taste. You know, I like like grapes are good, strawberries are good, blueberries are good. I like mango, but I don't eat it as much because my partner's allergic to it. So it's kind of rubbing
That's
it
a
in.
problem, yeah.
I just eat it in front of her, and I'm like, hey,
This is great. This is awesome.
this is so
I'm sure
tasty.
she'd love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a tomato on that?
No, that is a chewy Dubai cookie, which has taken over Korea. It's taken Korea by storm. I tried one. It was very mid for me. But again, it depends on the place you get it from, because every place is made. Like, if you are a bakery, you have those because it has. Everybody wants one. They're really expensive as well because the ingredients are very expensive. They're sold out all the time. There's people lining up for them. I'm sure there are places that make it well, but
You'll stick to your banana.
what?
You'll stick to your banana every day. That's what you prefer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my apple
And your apple.
that I had.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
They do say that.
They,
I don't know who made that up, but they do say. You know, apples are really good because they have a lot of fiber.
Wait, there's more of the chewy cookies.
Yeah, there you go. That must be Smash and Showmaker.
Wow.
Yeah. I would say you should try it just to see
I
what
did
the hype
try
is
it.
about. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You know, they were fine.
Yeah. Again, it didn't really blow my mind. Like, I didn't understand why it was so hyped.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's one of those trend things, right?
Yeah.
Where people get crazy on the trend. It's really hyped up. But yeah, you know, it wasn't bad. Just not the craziest thing I've had.
There's a lot of great signs.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of covering other people's signs with your signs.
You know,
that's not part of my.
You know, Ati, the mascot for T1.
Yeah.
You see Ona like choking it out.
What?
There was like a big one. He was like choking.
Why is he choking
He
out
was
his
choking
own
it out,
mascot?
and some ass faker and screaming about it, and he was like, "No, it's fine. It's okay."
Well, Owner, pretty interesting. Okay, guys, we've had a very nice delay, but now we're getting into a very nice game number 1 between D plus Kia and T1.
Play free now.
I do want to clarify. It was like a plush that he was doing that to.
Oh.
It wasn't like the actual person in the mascot costume. I really need to clear that up.
I just thought it was like a picture, you know, like a drawing or something.
No, it was like he had a plush on the stream, and he was going like this. It
Why
was.
is he doing that to Auntie? What did Auntie do to him?
I don't know, but it was pretty funny. Bot lane already pretty hectic. This is a rough matchup for the Nico. So Carry and Pays need to be on their A game to try and out-trade the Karma carrier at the Karma Ezreal, sorry. Because you are just outranged. There's a Mantra Q missing, which is definitely not a good feeling for Korea, but you can see they've already gotten a good amount of poke down.
I feel like you're going to struggle in this matchup because career and Carrier in American English they're pretty distinct, but I feel like for you they're kind of similar. What do you think?
Korea, carrier, yeah. Korea, carry. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The D plus support. The T1 support.
The Nico.
The Nico.
Yeah.
The Karma. Yeah. Yeah, it's already.
We have 5 games of this maybe.
Oh man.
Potentially.
It's okay. I'm a professional. I can do my job.
But you are also British. So. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Not just saying, you know, I don't know.
I resent the implication.
Faker went for a pretty aggressive trade. See that early on can be a little bit annoying for the Azir, but
there's been a lot. Oh, there is a darn roam right now. He got early prio.
Isn't this
top
legal?
lane.
Like, are you allowed to do this? Okay, Showmaker is just dead. He's so deep in this lane. And now he has to all in on a Faker. Takes a turret shot, and he got the kill! Oh, man!
That feels like a big flub from T1, I'm going to be honest. The fact that Showmaker is able to make that into a 1-for-1 is massive. Doran gets the kill, which in terms of gold is good, but he does lose a lot of time in lane, loses some experience and quest progress, right? You get so much passive progress in the top lane, so he's missing out on that. But yeah, Faker opting to hold his flash in that situation.
I mean, he might have it for level 6. Maybe they can set something up, but yeah, he could have also just potentially flashed. He's like, what the hell is this?
I think maybe it was just in the mindset of like, if I can save my flash and kill him, that's just game, right? I'm assuming that was like the mindset in this situation, but it ends up backfiring.
Yeah, Showmaker was, I wouldn't say complaining, but he was questioning thoroughly why the Mbessa was mid, as you would. Owner is going to be spotted, but the trade went heavily in Shu's favor.
Yeah, you got to respect the rumble damage, especially as Lucid was on this side. Oh, man. Overthinking it, going for those mantra Qs. And actually, Carrier's got a amp tome, and Korea's only got that fairy in a bottle, we're going to call it.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times...
Glowing mode, that's it, that's it, yes.
Wolf always knows that one, but I just call it fairy in a bottle anyway.
I like fairy in a bottle.
That's kind of what it looks like. I mean, that's what it is. Generally, supports nowadays will go back and buy a refillable and a ward.
What a cloth armor.
What did he mean by that? Is he just... Okay, he's okay. Owner is here. Lucid is... Oh! And now he's going to be forced to flash as Lucid extends that and makes him run.
So Flash now being for Faker. Obviously had that saved from earlier. But it does mean that Flash won't be available at level 6 to try and capitalize on Showmaker's lack of summoner. Bot lane, I think Carrier and Pei's doing a pretty decent job of mitigating the pressure we saw earlier. Typically after the first back, and once you start getting more points in the queue of Karma Ezreal, it can actually get worse. When you get like level 5, the Karma Ezreal gets so much power in the Mystic Shot and the... I can't remember what the queue of Karma is called. I'm just going to call it Karma Q. So it does a lot of damage, but Carrier and Pei's been finding some good trades, so holding up pretty solidly.
This is a replay, actually. We can see they're still trading, but yeah, they traded flashes, but Doran got away, which actually is a win for the Mbessa. But then he did hit level 6 first and misses ult, so does not really able to capitalize that on that just yet.
Yeah. Is it in a flame? Is it Q?
Karma?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody just knows it as the big magic missile Q thing.
No, it's not magic missile. That's an org.
No, I know. But
in a flame, it is in a flame.
Oh, it is in a flame. Nobody calls it that. Career's so dead. And Owner, easy pickup for him. Just
Yeah.
rooted into the flag and drag, and now Smash going to be forced to flash away. Might still die here, as tons of damage is coming out. The flash fourth shot gets the job done.
And Kyria
lives, and so does Pays. It's 2 kills for T1 in the bottom lane.
So nice from T1 there. You know, Kyria hits the inner flame, but it's just not enough. Not enough to mitigate things. Hitting the inner flame, it's not significant enough.
Nobody uses that.
I'm bringing it back. No, but Kyria, pretty overextended. They have deep vision. You can see there's a ward near the tower. There's that control ward in the river. But Owner finds a great angle around the back. The Karma is just immediately dead and then smashed. Despite having Arcane Shift and Flash, is chased down. The trap from Pays slows him as he is walking, as he flashes over. And then the fourth shot at the end to finish off. Considering that you took the Karma Ezreal to win lane, this is an absolute disaster for D+ to be in a deficit already here.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that the trade went so heavily to Pays and Kyria to begin with. And then, obviously, Owner was there, so just makes it insult to injury.
Yeah, a little scary there, Owner hanging around. There's a lot of flashless people. I say a lot, there's 2 on D+, and one of them has an Arcane Shift. But Shiwu was one of them that they could have targeted. There's a lot of flashless people on T1, to be honest, but that's less pressing because there's another Cataclysm to deal with.
Yeah, Doran was like 10 seconds off of his public execution, so not the best timing for Owner to show himself, but
okay, come on. Kyria and Smash, let's see what he can do. We'll see if Kyria can hit an inner flame. Mantra-empowered inner flame.
Wow.
Is what we're looking for.
Do you know the other ability names?
Inspire is the E.
She may be in a little bit of trouble, but actually he just harpoons him and runs away.
The shield is Inspire, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And?
Well, Mantra's the ult.
Yeah.
The W...
Tether.
Is it just Tether?
I don't think that's the real name, but that's what everybody...
Everyone calls it Tether. I don't want to change that.
Like in
Focused Resolve? No one's calling it that. Wait, hit.
Bruh. Okay, these kids are not hitting, and now they're trying to bait them. It's a little bit obvious.
Actually, her upgraded Q is called Soul Flash, so...
Oh. The ability names change when you upgrade them.
It's getting too confusing. I give it.
She was actually in a bit of trouble here, although the equalizer does come down, and now Doran is burning, but he just gets autoed to the face, and the Hex Drinker, some serious value in that 1v1.
Yeah, the equalizer not getting any value at all, really, for Shiwu there. The Hex Drinker coming up clutch, Doran playing his first item to get that. And yes, he's down a little bit in terms of farm in the matchup, but to be getting a solo kill when you've given over Rumble, the premier top laner off the patch, you got to be feeling good in Doran's position. Bot lane's going good. Honestly, T1 are in a phenomenal spot, considering how that comp just feels easier to play when you get to the 5v5s.
Yeah, it is pretty straightforward. As Faker going to take a bit of damage there. Going to peel off of the dragon as 4 members of DK are here. And they do want to respect it after that bit of poke did come through. Things still going very well. That's going to be a forced flash. His owner was right there and ready to follow up if need be.
I think taking the summoner from the Orianna always good. Bailing that flash makes a really vulnerable target into this composition. It's something we talked about in the draft. So it means when we get to those 5v5s, you can just start it off targeting Showmaker. Showmaker does a ton of damage in return, though. And it does give up a lot of pressure, but Faker will TP back in to catch the wave. Doran doesn't
He's about to
extend the trade because he doesn't have any cooldowns left, but this matchup's starting to get very scary for Shiwu. I mean, Shiwu was just so low. Everything connects, and the equalizer just gets very little value. The shield comes up.
My work is easy because I use Lck Cup. Here's how I get perfect notes from every meeting. I click this toggle to send my AI note taker to my meetings, even if I can't attend. My AI note taker records the entire meeting and creates a full transcript. After the meeting, I get a doc with the recording, takeaways, and even the action items. AI turns these action items into tasks so we actually get things done. ClickUp makes work easy, from personal projects to running a multi-billion-dollar company. Click the link below to create your workspace for free.
It was close, to be fair, but just well played there by Doran.
Yeah. Just understanding his kill range. So we do have Lucid pretty far ahead in farm, but owners being very active around the map, trying to find ganks and stuff. But the Void Grubs are going to go the way of T plus Kia. It does look like this first Drake, though, should be traded. So T1 totally fine with this. Getting an early Infernal Drake. The Soul Flare comes over the wall.
Not enough to catch it. Oh, they're throwing everything.
And owner didn't have smite, so he actually just waited.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, a lot of farm for Lucid, but still about even in gold with owner, so not really accruing much in terms of items as an advantage. But he is a level up on the Jarvan. But again, that's not a crazy advantage that you're going to win a game off as of right now. You see Lucid trying to find an angle here, but there's quite a lot of vision in the vicinity, and those traps set up as well.
Yeah. Traps keep them safe. Keria is looking at that direction. Looks like the public execution was used by Doran, so she getting pretty low. Equalizer still held on to.
This top matchup, if you're already struggling this much, it's not going to get better. Like, Doran's going to get his first completed item, you know, assuming he goes Eclipse, and he's just going to start completely decimating the matchup. So I am worried for Shu. Also, when he hits level 11 and gets the upgraded...
We got the root coming down, and now Career is in a lot of trouble. He's just eating shots to the face, has to flash away. And it is all blocks there. Scary was trying to make things interesting with Smash in the front line.
Yeah, Smash getting some good damage back and also blocking all the shots. Doing some more here.
Smash is just so good at Ezreal.
Yeah.
It is one of the champions that he first made his name on.
Ooh, close there. Yeah, saving grace, I feel like, for D+ right now is that they have Smash on Ezreal. Doran has just hit level 11, though.
Showmaker doesn't have flash still, so I think he just dies unless Lucid can somehow save him as Faker holds the Emperor's Divide for the Xin Zhao. Very intelligent there, as he's able to keep Lucid out of the play.
Honestly, the angle was great because he pushed Lucid away, but didn't clip Showmaker and knock him out of the Cataclysm. So, got everything he wanted. But Doran right now is so strong. Level 11, so he gets the upgraded passive stats on his ultimate. Also has the Eclipse. I'm worried for Shiwu right now in this 1v1 matchup. He was already struggling. He's just going to be having such a bad time.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to bait a fight here with Lucid going up top. But, you know, part of the reason why Lucid has so much farm is because he hasn't really been able to affect any of these lanes. Like, he hasn't been able to get up to the top lane when Doran was getting aggressive. The Orianna's just kind of been by her lonesome, getting ganked by Ambessa. In bottom lane, we saw what happened down there. So Lucid just kind of farming this one out.
I think once Doran gets his ult cooldown and Hex Drinker cooldown, which are coming up, if he sees an angle, he will just take that all in.
Yep. 4 seconds until that happens. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
That is the matchup now, so...
I think he can kill him under turret as well. And
I think he thinks that too.
There it is. He's still going to go for the trade if he might as well. And I say trade, but he's looking for the kill as the Harpoon does get Doran. And the Equalizer comes down. He's out of cooldowns, and the Equalizer does get him at the end of the day. And Doran oversteps. He was very strong, but now he gives a bit back to Xiu.
I think he was just listening to us hype him up a bit too much there and bought into it. Keria trying to go for something cheeky here, but won't dive under the tower to try and kill Shu. But yeah, Doran knew he was super strong, but ultimately ended up failing in a lot of things in that play, ended up missing the ultimate, still trying to commit to the dive, traded flashes and didn't get that last auto, and then the shield came up, unfortunately. So, I mean, he's still strong, but you gave a massive winner to Shu, especially if Shu hadn't backed and hadn't board. That was a point where he was particularly weak. But a nice way back in for D+.
Yeah, Yeah, it feels pretty good for them. Although at the same time, it does feel like just a tiny bit of fresh air when you're already struggling for air. And Dorn is going to receive this wave coming in here. Do have the next Drake is going to be Cloud, so we'll be interested to see what kind of soul we get. Still have Ocean and Chemtech on the cards.
Yeah, I think we were talking about. I mean, again, D+ scaling isn't bad. It's just, I think that composition in the later stages, you just don't have the setup you really want. We were talking about them having an early advantage setting up for Soul, but they haven't had control of the Dragons. So in this situation, that isn't really their current win con. So it is, I think, less important right now as to what the Soul ends up being.
You see now that Faker is just able to lane against Shiyu as well. And
there's no lane he's having fun in.
Good, yeah. Faker still has that cloth armor, by the way. I do wonder if he eventually just makes that Sonya's, as Lucid is going to force a flash out of Owner, out of his own Cataclysm. His Owner perhaps overstepping here, and not perhaps anymore. Down he goes. That's the shutdown given over to Shiyu, who did TP into the fight.
Yeah, Faker opting to stay towards the boss side of the map, pick up this tower.
And that's a pause.
Pause ends up coming in. Not sure specifically what that was about. Didn't see anything.
Yeah. Generally, Wolf was the guy that was getting all the pauses and stuff, but today it's Ox. Looks like a Smash issue.
He still had his drink in his hand, so we know he didn't spill his drink all over the keyboard.
Yeah.
He also didn't stand up and run towards the back of the stage, so we know that it wasn't a toilet issue.
Yeah.
Right? So that's
no toilet issues this
two things we've ruled out already. Good investigation work here.
Yeah. If you're going to do the toilet issue, do it before the game starts, or if we're like an hour into the game.
Or don't do it during the game at all.
Ideally, yes.
Yeah.
But, you know,
nature calls.
We let some players do it, and then other players are like, hey, I could potentially utilize that as well.
Yeah. It does seem like a technical issue based on the fact that they are looking at settings on the computer, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Maybe they're logging into Skype. You never know. I mean, we can't see what's happening on the computer. Although, actually, I do have a direct view line to Smash's computer.
Smash client issue. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we narrowed it down, and we were in the ballpark.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of struggling today, but hopefully we can get through it early on here, solve the issues, and get into the action. So we're going to take a look at the replay. And there is a chance that, you know, something happened to Smash where he couldn't join the fight. Let's take a look.
I mean,
looks
to be
fine.
Fair, see, he went back to mid to pick up the minion, and his team were like, why didn't you come help? And he's like, a client issue.
The champion's bugged. He can't leave the mid lane.
No, but it was a good play for them, so it worked out fine. Not too much of an issue.
Are we? Yes. Yes, we are back in the action.
Faker's just farming bot lane, picks up the tower in return. An aggressive play by T1 on the top side, if you're not going to commit the members, is just going to backfire. And she went out up in levels against Doran. It really was a major fumble when Doran had such an edge in terms of where he was in the game over Shiwu to have sort of misstepped in that dive. I still think he is stronger. But you can see he's been a lot more cautious now that Leandries has come in from Shiwu and that level advantage.
Well, Doran ganked for Faker. So now Faker has to gank for Doran. That's just the way it works. And by gank, they're just going to dive the turret as Shiwu is just going to be CC'd 100-0. Down he goes. Doran is going to take a bit of damage, but a very nice setup there from Faker and Doran.
Yeah, ult connects that time. Shiwu, no flash to escape from the public execution. And now Faker picking up another turret on the top side. So T1 just getting gold across the map. They didn't get that Herald, but, you know, what do you use the Herald for? Taking towers. If you're just going to take the towers anyway, I think you're pretty happy. Dragon going to be seemingly taken here.
Yeah, no, Emperor's Divide. Showmaker not in a good spot here against Dorn. Is just running him down. The Oriana's like, oh god, get me out of here. Yeah, and with no Showmaker, that's a Dragon over to T1. And it's Chemtech Soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
okay. Faker does not have his Emperor's Divide, but he's taking a very aggressive trade. The team is following up, but you can see that Zhonya's coming in here. Pretty early bought with that early cloth armor that Faker did pick up as Owner going in, gets the kill, and Smash has to flash forward just to pick up the one in the trade. A very aggressive play from Faker in T1.
Crazy that Faker ends up living there, getting a lot of values out of the Seeker's Arm Guard in that passage of play, but very aggressive considering he didn't have the Emperor's Divide. And it's just a 1-for-1 in terms of junglers, but now Kerry and Pei is able to pressure this tower with the map pressure that fight bought. 3,000 gold lead for T1. They have 2 dragons in pocket. Is the Chemtech Soul crazy value? No. It's
good for Ambessa.
It's good for Ambessa, but it's still one of the weaker souls. But they'll take the game state as it is.
Uh-oh. I feel like Showmaker maybe could have finished that back, but instead has to...
Yeah, this Ambessa is a menace.
Yeah.
We are seeing right now. The replay here, so Faker goes super aggressive to try and set something up here with the root onto Crit, but Crit dodges it with the Shirley's movement speed. He gets rooted. Look how low he is when he's... I don't know what his health was in that moment. But Flash is out, able to disengage. Owner just survives, and then he ends up going down to a flash from Smash. Gets picked up there. But just some very aggressive plays.
Could have worked. I mean, it kind of worked, but could have been a little bit cleaner.
The thing is, it was also a big investment in terms of summoners and the Seeker's Arm Guard from Faker.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, if you get a favorable play, if you have a 3,500 gold lead now, you're not complaining.
I mean, that's part of the reason why a lot of our pro teams here at the LCK don't take crazy aggressive trades, because sometimes they can be risky, as trying to get the knockup while also avoiding the root kind of just gets Carrier killed there. Lucid, nice to punish that one.
Yeah, trying to set up on the Karma when the Karma's, you don't really have the follow-up damage, which just pays from a distance, and a lot of shielding available to Korea here. We'll see the replay. Owner's just going the other way. Owner's looking bot for the Rumble. So this was a bit of a split call from T1. Just not really on the same page. Yeah, I think you really need the extra damage just to blow that Karma up if you're going for that play, or you just back out of it.
Yeah. Because if you don't have the damage, you just get rooted and die.
As we saw.
Mantra, Focused Resolve. What's the upgraded name of that one?
Do you want to know? You really
yeah,
want to know.
I actually
it's
do.
That important.
Yeah, we have the Soul Flare on the Q.
It's called Renewal.
Renewal. What about the E?
Heal you. Defiance.
It's okay. Nobody's going to have any idea what we're talking about if we do use those names, but maybe we will anyway.
Yeah. Do you know what the passive's called?
No.
Gathering Fire.
Oh, that's cool.
That sounds like when you have a Infernal Soul Rift.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we have a bunch of ults being thrown out here. By a bunch, I mean Pazes. And Career does have to flash it. So still very good value. Nice dodge there on the route. Owner can just get away, although Lucid will follow. Feeling very strong on the Xin Zhao. He is quite farmed up. And nearly just takes out Owner. There it is. Smash going to finish off the kill with one auto right after Owner flashes.
Smash is on a big power spike right now with that Triforce, with that Mermana, and he is really putting the hurt down whenever he's given a chance to. Lucid as well. We talked about him being pretty hyper-farmed. Despite the fact Owner's been making an impact, Lucid has been keeping up in terms of gold, and he's trying to make these skirmishes happen. There was a 3,500 gold lead for T1. That's been halved in just the last couple of plays. So here, Root comes down, ult opens up, and it gives T1 a lot of confidence to move forward. But most of the damage is on the Karma. Last shot's flashed. But to be honest, the Karma's health is a lot less relevant because you can just sit back and shield people. That's all that really needs to be done. It's the other members moving forward. Lucid is healthy. Smash has enough health and can just play at max range, landing skill shots. So nicely played there by D+. Dragon in 15 though. I said that the soul itself doesn't have a ton of value, but to be honest, the individual dragons, the healing from them, the tenacity, not bad, right? You have a decent amount of shielding and healing on the side of D+, and the tenacity into, you know, the Nico, the Jin. Not something you'll complain about if you can pick some of them up. You can stack up 4 Chemtech dragons. It's all right. But for now, it's T1 with more control in the area.
Yeah, T1 last time around, they were able to get the Cloud Drake because Showmaker just got pushed out of the bottom lane so early. This time around, he's able to exit the lane. They're trying to go in on the Xin Zhao, who just says, okay, you want to party, let's go. Goes in, it's a big trade. Both the junglers getting pretty low.
Yeah, but it's Ona using Cataclysm just on the Xin Zhao, and Lucid held his ult there. Could have burnt it, right, to mitigate a lot of that damage. Said, no, I want it for the fight. I'll hold on to it. And Ona will heal up off the Gromp, but I think lacking that cooldown, you feel a lot better. That being said, Doran just hit level 16. This Ambessa is a raid boss right now.
She's at least doing a good job of keeping him at bay. But if somebody gets rooted up and Doran gets access to a backline or really anyone, he is going to tear them apart. So
yeah, the amount of just stats you get on that level 16 ultimate is so absurd. TP coming in from Doran.
Look at Carrier's angle.
He wants the shield, and Carrier's coming on the flank as well.
Oh, he's just going to do it by himself. Showmaker in a lot of trouble, and now Carrier here on the flank, Lucid by himself on the Drake. And the flash comes through. They're able to catch Siu as well, as he does drop the Equalizer, and now Career helping him out, as well as smash over the wall. But it's still double kill going the way of FaZe, and the Drake going the way of T1.
She was getting a ton of value to turn that one around. It's still T1 with the Dragon. They get the reward they want, and it's a 2 for 2 overall. So, ends up being a closer fight than maybe you initially would have thought with how things started off. But it's still T1 one away from the Soul. And we see the replay. So Carrier's finding this flank angle as a minion, so you're less visibly obvious. And we see Doran just TPs, instantly goes for Showmaker here. But that does mean that Carrier kind of gets sussed out, has to use everything just to try and close distance, doesn't get smashed. Shiwu turns it around and just melts them. Smash is able to retreat and get some damage down as well. And this Ezreal is consistently being an issue. Has picked up the Endless Hunger as well, so insane amounts of ability haste available for this pick.
Yeah, and now she was level 16 himself after picking up a bunch of damage in that last fight. You can see the top damage dealt does go the way of Smash and Xiu.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, he was doing a lot to Doran in the lane, but also we just saw what he's able to do in a team fight. So a lot of power with these 2 damage dealers, and Showmaker hasn't even really had like a big shockwave. They haven't been able to set that up. It's one of the things we keep on harping about DK's comp, but you know, if he hits a big shockwave and they can actually layer damage, DK absolutely can win a fight in a big way.
You see, Mortius picked up there for Doran. Did go magical footwear and hasn't upgraded the boots, so he's just like fully invested in completed items here. This Ambessa very scary still, and as we saw in the last fight, a big problem. It's still a goldie for T1. They're one away from Soul, and it is the Ambessa who's going to benefit mostly from that Soul if they get it. So a scary prospect to deal with. And also Jin has kind of gotten through that power trough when you go Ghost Blade, Rapid Fire, and you just feel like you're doing not much. Has the IE now, has that crit cloak as well. So you are critting consistently. Presumably going for a pen item next.
And it feels good to play Jin into this comp before we get into like game 3, game 4 of Fearless, where people are just playing any sort of tank like a Sion or Cassante. Yeah, there's not a lot of tankiness on the side of DK.
There's a lot of targets you do good damage to on Jin. The only thing that's a bit frustrating is playing into Xin Zhao, because you know, if your shots are wasted, you only have 4 of them, and then you have to reload.
And he can stand in the front and block your ults as well. It's not the best feeling, but it's really just him. So
still T1 with the map control off the area.
And you can see they're not really rushing anything.
Seeker's Arm Guard picked up Shiwu now, which is a big item completion.
All right, just going to ult on into Xiu, who does take an immense amount of damage. And guess who's here as well? It's FaZe. Xiu, I think, just dies. He does use that arm guard, and not entirely sure why, to be honest. And they're going to give that kill over to FaZe. just trying to buy time maybe, but the team was not in position to do Baron.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things where it's like, oh, what if they do Baron? You know, do I need a Arm Guard to stall for time? I think that's the theory behind them using it. But from our perspective, it was definitely a wasted Arm Guard. A roam down from Pays to pick up that kill, but Doran just saying, yeah, I can target you anytime. This Ambassador continuing to be a thorn in the side of D+. And now they're kind of doing a multi-pronged approach. Doran's TP is about to come up, and Smash is bot.
Well, they don't have Smash. It is going to take a little while to take this Baron down, and that's really the hope here, as Lucid is the target. They're just going to turn onto him. And we'll see if they have enough damage within that, as Pays holding on to his shots for quite a while. And this type of Baron does do quite a lot of damage, as in goes Faker, trying to trade on the career, gets Lucid, and immediately goes golden. And Lucid eventually will go down. Showmaker desperately trying to do something, but is incredibly low, and that's just going to leave Smash out to dry as he gets shot down by the Jhin. Showmaker also gets baited into it. Xiu respawns, TPs, and it's already over. Although I say that. Doran backing on a ward, equalizer's down, but I mean, keeping them low, but that's about it.
Yeah, we have Soul in 15, and the respawn timers are a lot better for D+. We see Xiu trying to chase them out to buy time. This is really rough because Smash is so far away and he's so much of D+'s power, but the Baron is shredding them, doing so much damage. Look how low Ona starts to get. He goes in onto the Zhao, but it's just getting shredded. And with the redemption damage as well from Korea, they're like, right, we actually have to disengage. We can't do this. Faker goes in super aggressive, but it's a bait. Catches out the opposing jungler, uses that Zhonya's to buy time, flash as well. Showmaker goes in for the kill. That just means he's so low on HP that he'll eventually go down too. It's a very scrappy fight, but now back on the map, we have D+ approaching slowly. Faker has a crazy angle again.
Career, where'd he go? He's dead. Baker just stabbed him a couple of times. Some soldiers, and that's going to be the end of that. Although Doran does go in, and essentially a zoning ultimate just to push them off this Drake. This will be Chemtech Soul over to T1 as they continue to dominate this game more.
It feels like Faker is just specifically targeting Korea in these last two passages of play. He just is like, I can just bully this guy out. He's so squishy. I can pick him apart. He sees the opportunity. The least experienced player on the other team, and he's just taking him off the rift every time. We see now T1 starting up the Baron. D+ trying to approach.
All right, they use that combo, but Carrier's got this angle on the right side, and that's going to be the end of Showmaker. Lucid not long for the world either, as the one-man Emperor's Divide does catch Xiu. And yeah, T1, they bait them into yet another fight here. Career respawns and doesn't hit a match or Q. And it's feeling pretty doomed for DK in this one. And maybe now they can take the Baron.
Yeah, T1 with so much setup, so many tools to get the fight going.
Oh, Career.
Oh, not again.
I think he's a... No, he's not okay.
He is paper.
He's very not okay.
He is paper. He just gets decimated. Anyone looks at me, he just dies, if we're being honest. Not having a fun time in this game, I think is one way to describe it. And I think another person who's not having a fun time is Showmaker right now on this Orianna. It feels like Smash is the only person who's kind of thriving in these fights. He's not able to do enough, right? Because everyone's dying around him.
Yeah.
But you can see Smash able to reposition because he's playing the Ezreal, able to like dodge away from things, able to survive. And then every fight, it just feels like Showmaker is playing in a mobile mage into like 7 engage tools. Because he is.
He is.
Like Showmaker's low on HP. Oh, he gets ulted. Oh, where'd he go? I don't see him anymore. He's gone.
Yeah.
Xiu gets shuffled in, he's dead. And then Smash is like dodging, he's dipping, he's diving, he's repositioning. It's not enough. You know, he doesn't have the damage to cut through. Especially you add in this Chemtech Soul now, which, you know, I said it was going to have the most impact on Ambessa, also on Jarvan. It's just making the front liners bulkier, so it's going to make Smash's job harder, cutting through these frontline bruisers. He doesn't have any pen yet, so, you know, the GA on the Jarvan, even though Doran doesn't have that much armor in his build, just the base armor from being level 19, nearly level 20, and the plated steel caps is going to make him pretty tanky. Level 20, yeah. It's a
level 17 of Xiu. This game has very much gotten out of control, and Doran this time says the dive will work. Although, It doesn't look like it's working. He does push you off of the play, who still has his equalizer, but
The problem is the whole team moves up to help, which
Yeah.
you can understand that natural reaction, but it means that bot ends up getting popped on. Now they're going for a TP flank.
and they got to do something here. They're going to go aggressive onto the Nico clone. That equalizer pretty good, though. The zoning, Pop Blossom going to help out quite a bit, although Carry eventually does go down. And Owner, it just feels almost unkillable. He's going to stick in there for quite a while. He's still alive. He's still going. This guy is really actually unkillable. And now Faker going to force the flash out of Showmaker. And I think it's only a matter of time before we get a 1-0 scoreline for T1.
Yeah, I think that is it. They try to go for the TP flank, and honestly, Doran TP top at the same time. So T1 win expecting it, but it just didn't matter. There's too much gold, too many. End the game, end the game. Okay. Honestly, not the first time this game, not the last time that Faker played a very aggressive game with his health bar. But T1 kind of just building up the momentum and rolling over D+ in that one. There were some good fights, but it just felt like the engaged tools they had made it very uncomfortable for Korea and Showmaker in particular to survive on these immobile picks. And once you started getting to those bigger team fights around those more important objectives, they were just exploding them before they had a chance to do anything. Which can be a little bit risky here, because you know, we've seen the Ori on a Azir trade. Rise is still open and available. And I feel like T1 are probably going to try and get their hands on that one.
Yeah.
And so it puts a lot of emphasis on D+ to do a heavy amount of banning. That being said, T1 are still happy to ban out the Malphite here.
Yeah, I think the Malphite needs to have a look at, if you want to play Unara, you probably have to take Vi away. If you do want to play Rise, just go ahead and pick that. The enemy team will pick Talia and you'll win anyway.
I honestly feel like T1 are kind of, you know, they're banning Malphite, Varus on first pick, which has given a lot of favors over to D+. Here, you know, last time, you know, there was Nocturne, there was Vi banned. I feel like I'd be just taking away the Rise in the situation. I feel like if you give Rise to Faker here, unless you have something specifically planned for it, you're putting yourself in a really scary position where you might go down 0-2. So I would probably just take that one off the cards. They're going to go for the Aphelios instead. Are T1 going to first pick it? Are they going to go in a different direction? We'll see.
Yep, just got to wait and see. There's the Vi.
They prioritize the Vi instead, even over the Rise.
I mean, Vi is definitely one of Owner's best, and it's again, it kind of makes you not want to play Unara, which is available again.
Yeah, it does put a lot of pressure on that. Of D+, Lucid considering what he's specifically going to play. You know, Pantheon's still available, Wukong's still available. There's still a decent jungle pool. And he's just going to go the Wukong here.
Yeah, I think that's fine. We'll have to see what it is paired with, as Corki does get picked up early. Definitely a good choice.
Yeah, safe 80 carry when you are playing into the Vi in this situation. So, you know, the Vi does dive in, you can Valkyrie backwards, peel back, create a bit of space, have that sort of element of safety. But it does just mean that Faker's going to get the Rise.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I feel like you could have gone like Rise Corki in this situation.
Yeah.
Maybe they're scared of like Faker going Cassiopeia, Faker going Anivia, but for both of these mid laners, they both played a ton of Rise, right? Showmaker and Faker both played 4 games of Rise as the most played. The pick's extremely strong. Unless Showmaker has something specifically prepped, which it looks like he's going to go for the Anivia. So he's like, I'm happy for you to have the Rise because I am confident in the Anivia. We've seen it before into the Rise. We'll see if he can execute and make it work into it, because this is a big gambit giving Faker the Rise, which has been so confident, so proficient on.
Yeah.
I'll have to see them make it work.
I think it's hard when you're playing against T1 because so many other players are very proficient at specific champs, so you can't like take them all away, but you end up going for counter picks, which sometimes can work, but also you're giving these guys some of their best champs. So
I will say, I think taking Rise Scion, that combo was a bit of a fumble in my opinion, because Anivia does really good into Scion. So if you're taking the Rise, which the expectation is you might end up going into the Anivia, Also taking the Scion, I think was a mistake, because obviously when he ults in, you're going to slam the wall down, right?
Yeah.
And also it's very hard to assign a team fight into an Anivia specifically. You're already, as a melee pick, specifically as a Scion, it could be quite hard to get your Decimate and Smash off into an Anivia, so you can kind of just walk you around the fight. We do see D+ heavily banning away AD carries, not wanting to deal with the Yunara, but also the prospect of Ash Seraphine. And T1 will take away the prospect of Corki, Nami, and the Rek'Sai, which you've seen a lot into tanks to the top lane. It could just be for D+ a Cassante in the top lane. You could just take that. We've seen that matchup a ton. But instead, she was going to go for the Zehen, it seems like, which I think, again, playing into a melee top lane is definitely where he fares better. If you know the matchup, you're going to do a lot better than we've seen some Zehen since Kennen, and it's been absolutely miserable.
Yeah. So down to the end of the timer, but it does get locked in. The Zehen for the top lane. And just waiting on Career's pick down there, but we're going to see the bottom lane of T1 first. So what do you pair with this? Definitely need more damage. Can't just be the Rise.
Also need a good amount of range. I think ultimately, if you're playing something that's super short range, you're just going to have a bad time in this composition. Kai'Sa's okay, because even though she's short range in terms of ultra attacks, her W is something she can play with at longer range, and her ult allows her to kind of circumvent situations. Nautilus, though, I would not want to play Nautilus into Anivia. We've seen that before. It's not a fun time.
This might just be a Fearless draft thing where they want to play Yunara game 3. They want to just prioritize it and they just take both Vi and Nautilus away. Otherwise, I do definitely agree.
I feel like T1 are kind of playing on hard mode in this game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think they've definitely got that work cut out for them with this draft.
But you benefit if you win. As long as you get Yunara in the draft.
Generally, in League of Legends, you do benefit if you win.
I'm saying
that's
in the future.
You know what, Brendan?
Games.
That's why we pay you the big bucks. That's
why I'm the Vald analyst.
That's why you're the Vald analyst. What am I saying?
Analyst.
It's going to be an Alistair coming in, which I think is fine, into the Nautilus, but also does make things even more difficult for this front line of T1. I think this is a hard game for T1, if I'm going to be honest. I think they don't have any super favorable lane matchups. I think the Anivia, you see her, she's picked early on, right? And yes, she's good into the Rise, she's good in the Scion. She can give Vi time, even though Vi can obviously try and ult to get on top of her and hopefully have follow-up. But now, with how the draft has panned out, I think she's kind of just in a phenomenal spot.
Maybe they said, there's only one wall. So that one wall can't block all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Again, we've seen games where there's drafts which we don't favor and they've won. It's not an unwinnable game, but I think they've definitely put it on hard mode. And I think D+, they're in a situation where, they've got great tools. So a bounce back from game 1, definitely possible. But that being said, if you have a draft like this and you lose game 2 as D+, I don't see how you recover from this position. You have all the tools you need. This should be an equalization of the series based on the drafts.
Well, we'll see if they can do it in game number 2. All righty, game number 2. We already saw yesterday, Nongshim were able to get out to a very quick 2-0 lead, but it win 5 games. T1, I feel like if they can win this game, it's probably not going 5 games. I thought for sure yesterday was going to be a 3-0 with how slow KT came out and how good Nongshim were looking, but I feel like T1 and DK are on the next step up and should be cleaner in general with some of their leads. So expecting more out of T1 if they do end up getting to that 2-0 position. But as you mentioned, I mean, this could be the big moment for DK. Pretty exciting to see if they could tie it up.
Like I said, I think they got the tools for it. Just comes down to how they play. See if they can pull it off. Don't see anything too crazy in terms of wounds so far. Don't get some good trades in, just using the shield level 1, kind of bullying out Shiwu.
Now he's level 2.
Oh,
this is close. Smash. And speaking of smash, he has to flash in the bottom lane.
Yeah, disrespecting the pushing power of the Kai'Sa Nord when you do have, an Alistair with you, and ends up losing flash for it. Not a great feeling so far.
I mean, we talked about how DK should have won the lanes in game 1. They ended up not, and actually Doran was able to exert his influence in many parts of the map, as was Faker. I do worry for DK if, once again, they're not going to be able to fight in this laning phase and just kind of fall behind naturally. But so far, that's...
If that happens, it would be pretty bad, in all honesty. Especially top lane is not looking good right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Shu. I mean, generally, Shu is a very strong laner.
To be fair as well,
very good in these positions.
Sion is one of those champions who just is kind of obnoxious to play against. Doran's going to try and go for a ward here. Oh, senses something. It looked like he was going for the tri-brush to ward, and then he just sensed something. I was like, no, I don't need a ward there. Knew the timing.
Yep.
So has himself covered now. He should just be able to continue to exert pressure in the lane.
Yeah, just knows that this is getting the Scuttle Crab, and he wants to play a little bit slower this time. And that's just fine. Another hook is going to come down, but that one is onto Career, who now is standing right in front of Flash, or Smash, who did flash.
Smash doesn't have Flash, so that's why he's standing in front of him. There you go.
There you
and
go.
they're playing so defensive at complete max range in this situation. I do feel like the all-in of the Kai'Sa Nord very threatening. He did just kind of walk up there, and Kerry was very suspicious of it. There's wards in the brush. You can see Lucid's in the vicinity, but there's so many wards. And there's one in the tri-brush, there's one in the lane brush, so there's just no way for him to get in without being spotted.
And there's one in the jungle as well.
Yeah.
Like on his ground.
Full information. They know exactly where he is, and if he was going to come in, they would have spotted him too.
Yeah, the timing of it as well, like he just backed off of the scuttle in the top side of the map as these trades are getting a bit iffy for DK.
Boss bomb misses as well.
And, Kai'Sa, generally we're pretty big fans, but we're not fans of a laning phase. But if you get a laning phase like this, that's just kind of free, you're running to the bank.
The thing is as well with Kai'Sa is there's lanes which she's uncomfortable into because they can just poke her out. But a lane like this, if Corki's not exerting pressure onto you, and it's all about the more all-in trades, right? Like the tanks go in, apply their CC, you put your damage down. Kai'Sa has a lot of follow-up damage once proccing a passive, landing a W. And in the all-in, Corki can't really keep up. Doesn't have nearly as much sustained damage, so I think right now, T+ just on the back foot in the bot lane. Showmaker has level 6.
We got both supports here. Faker is going to flash out of that one. Carrier just goes for an aggressive trade onto Career afterwards, but still a win for the side of DK, forcing Faker to flash.
Yeah, the fact they have that already. Lucid not too far away from his ult as well, so potentially could capitalize on that after. And also, it's so easy to set up. If Ryze is walking forward, Showmaker can just set it up by himself with the wall, as he kind of did there. T1 are going to pick up this dragon here. Early Ocean, nice for laning, to be fair. And it doesn't mean it's not Ocean Soul.
Yeah, we do get Infernal next, though, so let's see what ends up being the soul in this one. And she was not very much enjoying himself, but I don't think there's too much kill pressure as he's going to be the one actually going in. And now Doran maybe overstepping here, a bit out of mana as well. And just trying to walk this one off, saying you don't quite have the damage. And he even gets the plants, which it's kind of rare that plant denies action, but I digress. As Faker's just dead. First blood goes over to Lucid, and they punish Faker for not having splash.
There's the setup, coming in, flash down, really easy to find it. We saw Shiwu on the top side was using his ult to stack his passive so that he could continue the trade. He's gone cold, so definitely looking to farm up. But Doran's execution is making it a little uncomfortable. It was close there, but yeah, the mana cost kind of holding him back from going further. But I think ultimately, the fact that Showmaker already has a 20 CS lead and that assist coming in. This matchup going as you'd hope when you locked in the Innovate into the Rise. Very easy, very simple, very straightforward.
Rise is immobile. When he doesn't get phase rush, you can see Faker trying to proc it there, trying to go for a trade, but if Lucid is ever there, you're just dead, standing on top of the Innovia ult.
See a decent trade back there from the D+ bot lane. Do have Faker coming down, though.
Yeah, Realmorph coming in. They do have Flash this time, though, but Career, I don't think he's going to even bother to use it, although he does get the headbutt down. He's still not going to end up using it as they give the kill over to FaZe, who's off to the races on this Kai'Sa.
Yeah, getting a kill there. Definitely massive for the Kai'Sa in terms of snowballing. Was already having a great time in lane, so Faker find an opportunity to roam. And definitely what you want to be doing on this Rise when your lane is going a little bit rough. Also picking up the Boots of Swiftness, which does have the upgraded boots have like a crazy amount of slow resist. So base is 25%, upgraded is 40%. So I think the goal is just when Showmaker puts down the ultimate, the Glacial Storm, you just kind of run out of it. Doesn't mean he doesn't have the Merc Treads, right, with the magic damage shield. But to be honest, if you get stunned anyway, you're taking the big E regardless.
Yeah. And also it's, you know, in terms of magic damage, it's mostly just Showmaker.
Yeah. Also the phase rush gives slow resist as well. So with them together, you can just kind of go
Synergy.
full speed.
Yeah.
Full speed, just leave it. Just leave the Blizzard.
Yeah. We talk about the walk strategy, but in this case, it's actually the run strategy.
The run strategy. You hear the Blizzard alert, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to respect that. I'm going to get to a safe distance and take shelter. That's what Faker's trying to do in this game.
That is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So glad Faker's being a good influence once again.
It's a regular thing he does.
We've had one kill apiece. And now they're trying to, I guess, punish Showmaker, but pretty difficult to do so.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to have a Nautilus lead the charge against an Inivia.
Yeah. Well, eventually, the wall will not be long enough as they do go in. This should be Ignivia, as there it is, and Showmaker is totally fine. Owner, on the other hand, uses his flash and also dies.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the game plan was there. Because Showmaker used his wall, right? And obviously, Kerry had the angle and could land the grab. And did. And again, you know, that's fine. But then Owner going in, it's like, you know Wukong's there because he was just taking the grubs. You're very aware of that situation. And he just like flashed under tower to proc the egg. Trying to make an omelet, I assume.
Yeah.
But struggling a little bit. So here, like, you know, the wall is so small at this point. He gets around it. But it's like, you know Lucid's on this side of the map. You know he's nearby. And especially with the minion wave coming, even if he's not, it would take so long. Like, Owner wouldn't have died, but I don't think you can kill Showmaker through the air. You wouldn't be able to just sit in the tower and hit it. And Faker, his Qs would be blocked by the wave. So it bit of a crazy play.
Yeah.
Bit of a crazy play. That's the second kill for Lucid, who already has that Triforce completed.
Yeah, the T1 Circus, as a lot of our Korean fans like to refer to them. Showing off some of their stuff here, some entertainment in the early game. And yeah, well, you know, now Showmaker doesn't have his egg. So on the follow-up...
Does have his flash, though.
Well, maybe they can get that next time. And then his egg will be back up.
Yep. And then the time after that?
His flash will be back up.
Time after that?
Egg is back up.
Oh.
Yeah.
But then
they're going to do it twice in a row very quickly, and actually his flash won't be up, but he's going to get a double kill under turret.
Oh.
So we're trying to Realm Warp out of the top lane, or, yeah, just walk up there, I suppose, with a engage cone. Wow. Grim Deliverance coming on in, and Shiu is just tanky enough. Faker not really able to do enough damage.
That did a pretty great job of clearing the wave, I'll be honest. So Shiu using the ability well to mitigate the dive. Big investment from Faker in terms of time there, but now he's staying around.
Round two. That's going to be the flash out of Shu. But we still have Realm Orb because he didn't use it the last time around. But Shu, pretty mobile, able to get into the wave as now we're looking at the bottom lane at 3v3. Faker does get the kill in the top lane. Owner going very deep to try to take out Smash, who has barrier, and just shakes it off. Lucid there on time once again.
Yeah, good kind of play from D+ on the bot side. I do think Shu horrendously overstayed after an initial strong play to save himself. But in the meantime, Showmaker is just... He's playing, it's not even really PvE, it's PvT.
Yeah.
Player versus tower.
Protoss versus Terran.
Yes. She sticks around. Probably because he doesn't have TP and he's being very greedy. But yeah, you don't have the cooldowns to do this. And he ends up getting chased down. Does go on for a little bit longer than maybe they would have liked, and that gives a lot of time for Showmaker in the mid lane. But they go for this aggressive play. They can't target the Alistar because, you know, it's an Alistar with level 6. But it's a heavy committal, and Wukong is so strong right now. And Ona's like, well, I guess I have to go and continue on the Corki. But the Corki has barriers, so it's like, okay. I mean, Smash still had flash, by the way.
Yeah. FaZe held on to his ult because he just knew, like, even if he does get the kill on the Smash, he just dies to lose it. So
yeah.
It's not worth it.
And, you know, Ona is a great Vi, but this does not feel good when you first pick the Vi. And then, like, your early rotation is this Rise, which obviously, you know, these are great picks for your mid-jungle in Ona and Faker, and they just have not been working in this game so far. You know, Lucid and Showmaker having a great one on the Wukong Anivia.
Trying to land this route here with Owner in the area, but again, it's Corki, and that's part of the reason why you do pick the Corki, to get away from stuff like that. From the collapse, we did see a bit of a lane swap right after the quest finished, so pretty cool timing here from T1 to just immediately force this lane swap. And so now we're going to have the hook here onto Career, who is about half health, but now Carrier has to flash away, so Career will take that every day.
Yeah, half your health bar or flash. I think you'd rather have the flash still available. Lucid now fishing. Carrier really wanted to take that control ward. You could see it. You could sense it. But no. Pull back away. Both top lanes on the bot side, but have their TPs available. Teams setting up for Herald, but I just think it's so hard for T1 to contest into this Anivia. If she's like set up in the area and gets, you know, her wall down, her ult, it's a problem.
Yeah. We saw the counter pick of Anivia into Rise that was prepped here by Showmaker. We've seen that out of Chovy. And then T1 was like, what about if you countered every other champion on our team too?
Yeah.
You know, like, let's make it a little bit more difficult. Not just the Rise, but how about everybody?
Yeah.
I mean, if T1 do get ahead and they have a Vi in a good position with Flash and they have Kaisa who can ult over the top, sure. But they're not in that position, as this is one way as well to just hide on bush and get Showmaker down. Ignivia is back. But Paze is making his way up here. And as Lucid's going to get there first, the Exhaust is going to help out, and the Nautilus ult keeps all three of them around. And Paze flies in just to help out in the trade. And that's going to be 2 kills going the way of T1. Excellently played.
Yeah, good capitalization. Finding Showmaker isolated and alone is the way to do it. The Realm Warp comes in. And that's how you make an omelet. Lucid going down as well, trying to save his mid laner. Smash going to try and just defend top lane in return.
You get the Rift Herald off the back of this as well. Doran able to catch waves. Baker goes down bot. You can see the rotations coming in from T1.
Now the gold's like dead even.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ona finding this big wraparound, just meaning there was no way to peel, disengage in the situation. Also, this is... So every other champion, I feel like, does struggle into Anivia. But I do feel like Vi... I mean, it's not even Vi, it's mostly the Kaisa. But I feel like Vi, you can potentially find the angle to close the distance. And Kaisa, even though she's short range, if you get on top of the Anivia, the Kaisa can be there, right? You know, if it was something like a Lucian would just have a nightmare time. But a Kaisa can follow up and close the distance, but it takes creative angles from T1. You have to find angles like that. So that was a good move from T1. And again, it's not impossible for T1 to play this composition. It is just hard. The burden is on them to outplay D+. If things play out in an ordinary way, if we just play out front to back, D+ are going to be very happy. But now, gold's about even. Dragon is up and available, and there's a Cloud Soul, which has a tremendous amount of value in this game, which is so heavily gated around, placing terrain, placing down slows, placing down movement speed.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty huge. And this time, both teams have one Dragon. The gold is exactly even here, 17 minutes in. So should get some pretty entertaining fights here for these Drakes that both teams should be prioritizing. Speaking of which, DK trying to get on top of the first one, but they end up rotating towards mid with the Rift Herald coming down. Carrion is just going to go in the Rift Herald over the wall. So that's some nice tech he got there. The flash over the Anivia wall from Owner to get on top of Showmaker. Maybe a little bit too aggressive, but now Doran is here, and Pace flies into the backline. Lucian is just down as Doran gets in there with his ult and stuns the two of them up. And T1, they force the fight, and it works excellently for them. Smash has to flash away, but he can't get away from this rise as it's a full ace. It's a 5-for-0 ace for T1, 17 minutes in.
Just beautiful execution from T1, doing everything they need to make this fight work. And D+ are just left floundering when it comes to the 5v5. To get a clean ace at this point of the game, pick up that Dragon as well. I said coming out of the draft, if D+ loses, they're going to be in a rough spot. I think what's huge here, so we end up seeing Carrier going aggressive, burns cooldowns from the Alistar, and then goes in the Herald. And this burns the wall from Anivia to block the Herald. So then Owner gets the ult in, the Herald has meant the wall is unavailable, and then we see Paze goes in, buys more time, and we get this great angle from Doran. Remember, Doran can't ult in if the wall is available.
Yeah.
But Carrier burnt it with the Herald. So it's just burning these cooldowns, burning these resources, the team working in unison to just eke out everything that D+ has so that they can fly in and finish off those targets. It was honestly just a masterclass in team fighting from T1 against a composition that has the tools typically to prevent them from getting backline access. So great play from T1. They now have a sizable goal lead. You can see, look at the goal graph. They were dead even. And they did everything right there to bring themselves to this point of the game.
Yeah, and it's like 5,000 gold ahead now for T1. I mentioned it after the draft. I'm like, the wall can't block literally everything. Also, the fact that Owner flashed in as well just to make sure that Showmaker didn't have a nice setup. It didn't look like the Vial did all that much, but what it really did is just make things very uncomfortable for the Anivia, who just wants to sit back, have that ult in the perfect spot. But if you're getting flash ulted by Vi, and have the threat of Kai'Sa over the top, which we also did see, you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So now they're behind, and now I do worry for D+ Kia in this position. Because by the time the next fight comes out, we're going to have Flash with a buyback. I say that, DK are trying to force another fight here as the wall comes down to lock them in, but T1 are okay with that. And Paze is here as well. Could try to force it. There's the hook on the decoy.
You see how defensive D+ are playing now. Really know that they're on the back foot and just trying to disengage from every situation. And they have to. What's really uncomfortable as well is Smash is just approaching his 2-item spike. He still doesn't have his Manamune stacked up, so even though he technically has 2 items, it's not real 2 items. And Paze has just finished his Dusk and Dawn. So the point at which on a Corki you're feeling really like, hey, this is my time to shine, Kai'Sa is just blown through it, right? This Kai'Sa is so strong right now. Very scary. And when you dive in, like we saw in that previous fight, it's really not going to take much at all from Paze to just instantly stack that passive and explode targets. So worrisome for D+. And when you're playing against a composition like this that is trying to dive through you, and you have these tools to mitigate it, when you fall behind like this, you do just kind of get bowled over. So they really need T1 to misstep, and they need to find an angle where they can hold them at bay. Right now, T1 are starting up on the Baron.
Yeah.
If T1 get the Baron, that's generally seen as bad.
Yeah, we've seen so many teams in the mid-game just kind of flounder and do nothing. T1 is not going to be that team. We know about the T1 Barons. They're going to go for it. Doran is trying to get on top of Lucid, who does actually get in the pick just to not get the smite and just die. As now we get the Realm Warp on in. Faker is frontlining. And Showmaker, again, he puts the wall down, gets flashed over. There's no setup here for DK, and they're just being run around the rift as this should be Smash going down on top of it all. Faker picks up another one, and she was just over here in mid lane trying to run away, and eventually he's going to be going down. It's just kind of a disaster of a game at this point, as T1 has run away with this one in a big way after that last team fight, and they followed up with yet another one.
The level of coordination T1 is showing right now, just leagues above, right? Doran, he's on the duty to sort of zone away. Lucid is so cautious about getting over the wall. Doran flashes, ults him, and it puts the pressure on Lucid. Not able to get over the, I'm not sure if he got over in time or not, but not able to get the smite. And then here, they're just chasing through on them. Korea goes down. Faker's flashing up to Showmaker. Smash goes down. It just feels like T1 are playing right now at a level leagues above D+. And I'm worried if D+ are going to find their legs in this game or this series, to be honest. This game feels, I think, over at this point.
Yeah, I said at the top of the show as well that T1's number 2 and DK are number 3. If we look at the standings right now in the Lck Cup, but T1 and Gen G are very much like a whole tier above D plus Kia, it does feel like right now, just based on the games we've seen. And I think we're seeing a little bit of that here as well. Owner is going to have to flash away. And, we did see Nongshim come out really strong, but I think this is a different feel today. As Keria is going to go in, we got the teleport coming in. T1 is up 8,000 gold, and they're going to pull the trigger here with the Baron as everybody is just being rolled over. She was like, please, I want to do something in this backline, but his whole team is dead. And that's going to be the end of that. The Grim Deliverance comes in. It's only 23 and a half minutes, and the game is over.
Just decimation. Absolute decimation. This game is so one-sided, and I don't disagree with what I said. I feel like D+ had a great draft, but the execution from T1, they really found the angle.
That's why you were like, we got to see the play first. We got to see the play.
Yeah, they found a weakness, and they just crucified D+ for it. Found every angle to take them out of this game. And we see here, Pays reacts to the engage from Korea so well. The chain round comes in, Ona diving in, causing all this disruption.
Well, Faker might die here. We do have Doran, though, coming over, and actually, I guess maybe he doesn't.
Yeah, actualized as well, boosting the Seraph shot.
Oh, God, wait. It's, now it's becoming like a 2v5, although they killed 2 of them. And Doran is like, well, I'm just going to go in because I might as well. The rest of T1 is coming over. They're like, okay, if you want to end the game now, we can. If you want to fight now, sure. We were going to back off and, farm up a little bit, get the Drakes and stuff. But nah, we'll just come back in and end it now for you guys.
And this game has to feel demoralizing. It's a rough loss at this point. Game 1, was T1 winning, but there was some fight. This one has just been an absolute crushing. And from D+'s perspective, a complete mental reset going to be needed going into Game 3. Still looking for an angle here, but yeah, I don't see it.
Owner, as the headbutt was coming in, he lands his Q and just turns it around on the career. And they're really just styling on them now as another hook is going to come in. Lucid, no W available rather, as we do have the ults coming in from Pays. He is going to put an end to things, or try to, as they're under the turrets. They're certainly having their fun, but I think at this point they can kind of do whatever they want. We do have the TP coming in. This is from the Zahen, and maybe some shutdowns being given over. This one is given over to Smash.
Yeah, I think
but all 3 inhibitors are.
This was a situation where T1 definitely should have backed off, reset, and then just let the super minions push in and end of the game.
Faker.
But I think this is also an example where T1 were like, let's just go to Game 3.
Yeah.
So
I thought DK were saying the same thing, but they held on to their base.
Not ready to go to Game 3 yet, it seems. A little bit more time to hold them out. We'll see T1 respawning. KDA's dampened a little bit. But with triple super minions coming in.
Okay.
Nice. got the red buff.
Yeah.
Well, we take those, you know.
See, the biggest gold lead is actually in the jungle. It's not where I would have expected it. Could be potentially because we did have some big shutdowns going over. One of them did go over to Smash.
Definitely a factor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Smash has a ton of farm. So
the comeback.
Yeah, they don't have triple super minions coming into the base. And this time, T1 have spent their gold and have full HP. So we'll see. IE picked up for Smash. They have one Nexus Tower.
Well, Doran's taking some damage. And the Nexus Tower is under siege. Owner threatening a dive, but doesn't have to. Doran eventually will take critical damage if he keeps just eating ult damage. But for T1, they don't have to overstep. They're going to play it slowly from here. I say that, they immediately just dive the turret. Might as well. They get into that backline onto Showmaker, who is not having a very fun time as he finally does go down, but Sobel pays. But nobody has a number on Faker here. Xiu trying desperately, and so does Smash, but just runs straight into the rest of T1 and eventually just dies. As Faker also will. And Xiu getting low as well, but not dying. Finally does go down. Owner takes him out. And Owner going to be using some of that gold. We did see one Nexus turret respawn.
Yeah, Lucid's alive,
but yeah.
There's so many super minions. Wait, he's going to get carried. He got him.
Oh, he did. Okay. Well, the Nexus is down. And finally, the very fun ending of that game, the last 5 or so minutes, is over. As T1 do eventually put the number on the board and make it official, 2-0. You can see Lucid's like, well, what are we going to do about this? So far, not a lot of hope being seen on the faces of DK.
Yeah, I mean, obviously teams have their own interpretation of how the draft panned out, but to me, like, into playoffs, I mean, they don't have to rely on anyone else in their group, even though obviously they only have one more series in their group to be played, which is Gen G.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think if you go 5-0 in a small tournament format like this, you should be making it into playoffs, and that they will, if they do get that scoreline, as you did mention. So we are going to see second pick selected here once again by D+ Kia, hoping that that counter pick can help them out, but it is going to give first pick over to T1 again. Last time they picked Vi first, a lot of stuff is gone, you know, the Rise, the Vi, the Rumble, all taken away.
Switching things up though, now banning the Cassante. So this is telling because we've consistently seen that Varus ban second. And as we start to see, you know, more and more of these power picks get funneled out, it does make you think what's left open. Varus has not been banned. T1 seemingly wanting to first pick it. You know, they first picked the Azir, they first picked the Vi. Now it seems like sights are set on the Varus, especially as they're banning away the Lulu, so not wanting to deal with something like a hyper carry paired with an enchanter, which can be a bit of a pain point if you're looking to scale up. So will D+ ban away the Varus? No, they're going to go for the Aurora. I presume this is what T1 is setting up for, based on leaving the Varus open, and yep, they will lock that one in. Varus even got buffed on this patch. That's the crazy thing. He was already high prio previously. Yeah. Out of all the things to get buffed, again, it wasn't like a crazy big buff, but his Q damage got buffed, which of all the things to get buffed for Poke Virus was a crazy thing to get buffed. So Pays will be playing that. And it does put a lot of pressure on the bot lane, who already have been feeling the pressure a good amount. Smash has been playing well, but the 2v2, we definitely saw some struggles. And Varus does put you in an uncomfortable spot when it comes to those 2v2 matchups. Now, we do see the Pantheon come out. Is it going to be Pantheon Talia coming through? We haven't been super convinced by Talia, but it is a strong combination. Pantheon, though, in and of itself, definitely a good jungle pick.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. They're looking at the Lucian, actually, here. So that is going to be the choice. Lucian can go with the whole host of different supports. So
yeah, definitely a shorter range pick, which can make it a little uncomfortable into the Varus. But we'll see how that pans out. The T1 options, there's Nocturne potentially available. If Owner wants to lean on that, definitely a pick he has a lot of comfort on. It looks like he will do just that.
He looks pretty happy.
He's pretty good on that pick. So
Yeah.
Also, honestly, Akali is open and available. Akali Nocturne, very scary, and it's a flex. So if they wanted to lean on that, could potentially pick it up. Obviously, you don't know the matchup for either lanes, but being that it is a flex, could go in that direction. Instead, they're going to go Nocturne Galio and pick that up for Faker. A lot of global pressure when you're dealing with the Galio. Having double globals, it's like, oh, you got a global? We got 2 globals. You know, matching up in that regard really puts a dampener on what Lucian's going to be able to do. Lucian Nami, I think, makes the most sense. Yes, you could go Lucian Braum, but I think there's a lot of lane matchups that would really make you struggle. And part of the problem is you kind of have to take your support here, because if you leave it till after the ban phase, they could ban Nami and Braum, and then what are you picking with Lucian? Milio, I guess?
Yeah. No, it wouldn't feel good.
It wouldn't be the end of the world, but maybe a little uncomfortable. Or maybe they ban like Nami Milio, and then you're forced into Braum in the matchup, but you don't feel good in, because there's a ranged champion who just bullies you out. So they're going for the Nami here. They want to make sure they have a good laning phase, as good as you can have, into a poke Varus, and Nami obviously gives a sustain to mitigate that. And now we'll see what D+ are going to ban out in this situation. Going to get rid of the Blitzcrank, scared of Carrier just deleting the Nami off the Rift.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fine. Varus Blitz isn't the most common duo you ever see, but Blitz does get picked in situations like this against Enchanters. TF going to be banned away from Showmaker, so they don't want to have him having a lot of global presence to counter the global presence of T1.
Yep, I think it makes sense, especially a pick Showmaker is extremely proficient on and can have a lot of control in a game like this.
You know, I was thinking about Varus Ashe just from the old days of, you know, when Guma and Keria used to do that in that meta and really design the meta around themselves, but also potential for the Varus to go top. I mean, we haven't seen it here at the LCK, but it was definitely running rampant in solo queue.
It absolutely has been. So probably it's difficult to navigate it because you are first pick on the side of T1. Not necessarily going to have counter pick to adjust to. Likely going to have Showmaker's mid pick in this situation. Could just go for something that's just like a control mage. Looks like they're just going to go for the Ahri. A lot of mobility, hard to pin down, which makes sense given what you're playing into. And I think with the Pantheon as well, a lot of skirmishing power, you know, which I think is important given the composition you're playing into. And now for T1, you are playing a blind matchup in the top lane.
Yeah.
And I do feel like you want a decent amount of damage. Don't really want to tank with the composition you have already. Although to be fair, Sion's already gone, Cassante has been banned, so a lot of top tanks you would typically play are gone. Blind Cannon gonna come out.
It does damage.
Oh.
Thinking about support Kalista here.
He's played it before.
Yeah. It's just going to be Rel instead.
Yeah, toying with the idea, doesn't end up going for it, just going to go for an engaged support. So not going to have as much lane pressure as maybe some other picks that were being presented with the Ashe ban, with the Calista Hover. A lot of engaged power. Shiwu considering the prospect of an Olaf. If you get ahead in this pick, T1 actually doesn't have that much sustained damage when you look at what they have. Cutting through the Olaf would be a problem in the 5v5, but they go against it and end up committing to the Yorick, bit of side lane presence. I do feel like in the 5v5, T1 have way more power.
Yeah.
A lot of dive in the top side, the Varus ult, the Rel ult, loads of power there. I feel like D+'s composition kind of needs to get the ball rolling early. And I mean, yes, you have the Yorick, who's a lot of presence in the side lane, but you know, I feel like the Ahri Lucian, these champions went behind, really going to struggle to make an impact.
They don't do a whole lot, especially up against something like a Galio. You know, this isn't BDD pulling out Ahri into the Yone of Scout and, you know, 1v1ing the matchup and getting solo kills and taking over the map, as we saw in Game 3 yesterday. This is definitely going to be a different vibe of Ahri.
it's also a great Merc Treads game for the Galio, because like you often go Merc Treads on Galio, but you're playing into a good amount of CC. Like there's a Pantheon Stun, there's the Charm, there's the Nami Bubble, which is reduced by Tenacity as well. So, you know, you're happy to pick up the Merc Treads and just get that magic damage shield and really just make yourself immortal against the Ahri. I think, you know, once again, T1 have a lot of tools, a lot of engage power, a lot of team fight prowess. A little bit trickier to execute on 4D+, and their backs are against the wall.
They got to make it work here in game number 3. Let's hop onto the Rift. All right, the D+ fans desperate for a victory and a hope of a comeback as we're hanging out in the top lane. Don't see a lot of level 1 shenanigans nowadays, but that's going to make you not very happy.
Does he have to TP back?
No, he's going to stay. Yeah. Oh. So that's one of the options, but none of the options felt good.
Yeah. Well, range tops. How do we feel about them?
I like them.
What?
Yeah. I don't play top lane, so...
Oh, okay. That explains everything.
I don't...
You know, I don't play that much top lane, but I empathize for the people who play top lane.
I just think it provides more fun gameplay.
You think playing into a range top?
Not playing into it. Watching.
Oh.
Yeah. Like for us, to cast it, I think it's more interesting to get a range top than like, I don't know, Cassante versus Yorick.
I like seeing the top laners clash and just farming grass stacks.
Yeah, I think you only care about the stacks, actually.
Okay, I'm a bit of a fiend for the stacks. I'll admit it. Okay, I have.
That's really the only angle.
Anything that has stacks, I like to see the number go up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a bit of an obsession.
I wonder where that came from.
Yeah, we'll never know.
We'll never know. But yeah, it is fun to see the number go up. We are not going to see all too much of it in this game.
Yeah, we actually don't have any grasp in this game.
Yeah.
What a tragedy.
We don't have...
We do have one of my favorite things to mention, Ultima Hunter, way on the Nocturne.
Yeah.
So I can bring it up whenever he gets an assist to kill.
That's good. That is a number.
Yeah.
That can potentially go up.
Yeah, reduce cooldown the ultimate. Which you'll definitely be pressing off cooldown. Anyway.
Better to have it available as often as possible.
So, bot lane matchup, not going so well. You know, obviously the Varus has a lot of pressure, but generally it's when you've got a few points in your queue, when you can outpoke at a distance, but also the support matchup is more the differentiator in this one. Because you have this Rel into Nami, because you have Lucian Nami specifically into Varus, Rel, you are on the back foot. So, D+ have enabled themselves to be able to have a good time here. Now, Lucid is looking for a potential dive.
I mean, Owner is down here, so got to be very careful. You got to make this happen quickly. But Career gets tower aggro and nearly dies. The Q comes through. It's first blood for the Varus, and they do get Keria. But we are going to see, Owner just force them back. And meanwhile, up on the top side, looks like Doran's in a bit of trouble here, trying to just dash away and flash as well. So he gets away with his life, but not looking good up there.
Yeah, he gets locked in the cage and does not have a good time. She was finding an angle to just catch him and not really having the attack speed to get it down quick enough. This was actually really well played by Carrier here, even though he trades 1-for-1. The main thing is he keeps Pays alive, but if you watch, Career wants to take aggro here, so he autos and immediately Carrier pounces, CCs him, and forces to hold him accountable for taking the aggro first. Unfortunately, Pantheon's so strong.
Speaking of Keria, he is in the mid lane. I don't think they're going to kill him.
Yeah. Ultimately, they don't find him. But still, that dive, the response from Keria as soon as the aggro was taken, was very good. But yeah, Pantheon's just a bit too strong at turning things around. They do chunk Showmaker out and should be able to find a reset for Faker. But yeah, freeing up the Rel already to make a roam. and find some pressure.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting what happened up here in the top lane. Now she was up a flash. She has been struggling a lot into Doran tonight. But so far in this game number 3, things are looking up, looking better. I don't know if we'll get a replay of exactly how the trade panned out, but you guys can imagine he probably went aggressive, trying to get damage, got caught in the cage, took a shovel to the face, and Doran had to run.
All the ghouls jumped him.
Yeah.
With the glob of mist.
Yeah.
I hate getting globbed.
Is it a glob, really?
Isn't it a glob?
A glob of mist?
I don't know what it's called strictly, but it is a, you know, if we're describing it.
It looks like a wave, you know?
There's no way it's a wave.
It's like a cone.
Morning mist. Yorick Hill's a globule.
What?
Black mist.
It is a glob, actually.
Yeah. Just spend more time in top lane.
I guess, yeah. This explains a lot, I suppose. Lucid is down here. Meanwhile, they're going aggressive on a smash, who's getting quite low, but maybe it was a bait all along. Carry is down, the bubble hit pays, and he has to bubble himself.
The spear.
Oh, there it is, Lucid says, I'm here to play now.
Snipes him with it. And you know, I had a lot of praise before for Carrier for finding the for finding the angle under the tower, for punishing the dive. This was just him going aggressive when didn't have the backing to do so, and both of them pay for it. So a big point of pressure for D+. You know, 2-0-1 for Lucid on the Pantheon. The bot lane going super well for D+. This is a great start for D+ when they desperately needed it. We'll see here. So like Smash trying to get a crystalline overgrowth proc on the tower, steps up. They just don't quite have the burst to take him down. And again, Pantheon does so much damage this early, has the Tycho's busting on him, stacks up the spear, snipes out the Varus. And that's how the play went. So Owen finally has his ult available and can actually contribute.
Yeah, maybe he is a champion now. We'll have to wait and see how the first Paranoia does go. In terms of places you want to gank, I mean, you've got Galio in the mid lane, but it's against an Ahri, so you really have to have the timing down. You see there's a deep ward that spots owners, so they know he's level 6. Bot lane can be good, but Career is about to get his flash back. So
Bot's probably the best.
Yeah. I mean, they should know he's down here. Instead, they're just going to try to clear a ward in the river and pay for it. I really don't know why they did that. Doran now doesn't have his flash, but
yeah,
it's aggro.
That's called a matter of having good flash timings. You know, we were talking about how Career was about to have his flash back. They knew that. They were aware.
Well, now we've got Lucid. He is quite fed. Showmaker's coming over here, but Faker is TPing in. And first roam from the bottom lane comes from the team who has 2 bottom laners. So they are going to win this trade. Not very surprising. I just feel like DK opting for a couple of plays that they were never going to win. This one, they kind of got caught in the river. As now Smash says, I can take them.
Yeah, it's just, oh, that's some good ult damage, but it's just not really going to amount to much. You know, the cover's there. And it just feels kind of frustrating because this game was going so well for D+. And
yeah,
you want to say all these nice things, and then immediately it backfires. And the mistake from Career is not a major one, right? But you're playing a bit too aggressive without flash for a Nami. You're walking through the river on this aggressive path. It's free, right? You know Nocturne's going to be about 6. But then here, Lucian's like, hey, I'm strong. I'm fed. I'm Pantheon. It's like you don't have the support here right now, right? You know you've just lost your Nami, right? You're thinking, oh, well, Galio's spawning. But it's like, because the bot lane's there, like, how are you going to get out again as a Pantheon? Right, you don't have the summoner available, and it's just like, okay, well now what was just one pick has turned into even more. They're looking for the dragon here.
Yeah, speaking of which, this snowball might get out of control very quickly unless DK can win this one. But you can see the T1, you know, they could have maybe tried to finish off that Drake, but they don't overpress it. They say, okay, we stop them from the Drake.
I think,
but that's good enough.
That's the key difference. It's knowing the limits, and I think it's something that D+ need to brush up on very quickly.
Like in this game right here. Otherwise,
yes,
they probably just lose.
Yes, I think learning as they go. Faker has got those Merc Treads. Hasn't got the upgraded ones yet, but this matchup unlikely to amount to much for Showmaker in terms of pressure.
Faker's definitely one of the Gallios that actually builds a good amount of AP outside of the Merc Treads, which there's no AP boost, but yeah, he's definitely one of the more aggressive ones. As now Carrier looking to turn around this play as the chains do come down, and guess who's back? Back again, it's Owner in the bottom lane, flashes the bubble, takes down Smash. They get the flash out of Career as well as the heal, and another stack for Owner.
Yep. So easy to do, and this is how you should be playing. You have Nocturne, the bot lane's easy to set up.
I think he's okay. Actually, he might even kill it. Yeah, he's just going to kill Career. Baited, I suppose. We'll give it to him, you know.
Has the barrier in the bag, turns around, finds the Nami as well, and now you have a 4-1 Varus. I want to remind you, they were winning bot lane. D+.
They were
D+
crushing.
were winning bot lane. How quickly that has turned around.
Uh-oh. Well, Lucid does have his flash. He might have to use it here. As the flash comes in for Faker first, as he does put up the shield, gets feared, and now is going to flash over the wall. As Showmaker does come over to try to help out. The charm does hit onto Carrier. There's a very nice bubble going to catch too. Showmaker trying to keep them around, but he doesn't have his charm. As now Pantheon's joining out, and they immediately turned on him. And Faker says, I will take that 1-for-1 every day of the week.
Oh man, the ult from Lucid just didn't even trade. It looks like T1 finally. They overstep. This is a chance for D+ to punish. And you're like, hey, D+ really gets momentum back in the game. And then Lucid flies in and it's a 1-for-1. It's like, whoa.
Gunblade finish. Doran wants the aggressive trade, even with the maiden up here. The cage is there, but the shovel gonna help out. Flashes for both. As Doran, couple. She was healing quite a lot, but now he's kind of on the opposite side. The Q does miss. The Shuriken is not there. Now Doran is taking way too much damage. And Shiu just survives through it all and takes the kill.
Yeah, just a step too far. You know, the healing that was coming in from Shiwu, the constant damage that was coming through from various sources, trickling Doran down. And I think it was one of those plays where it's like, you've already gone a step too far. You're a bit too deep. No way getting out now. Some answers back from D+. But still, game not as good a position as we obviously started off. This is just Nocturne in a nutshell. When you have a bot lane with so much setup, I will say that the ult from Korea here ends up disrupting quite well, knocking the piercing arrow, disrupting it from Pays. Then this just baited by the barrier. Yeah.
Pays said one thing there.
He popped the for the triple tonic, the adaptive force potion, which gives so much extra. It's like 30 adaptive force, so
that's a lot.
Yeah.
I think even if that Shuriken lands, I don't think Doran wins this trade. Like, I think Chu would have gotten low. It would have looked closer, but I think he's still... I think Doran still dies. So yeah. I don't really know.
Bit of limit testing from Doran. He found the limit.
He wants to be relevant in this game.
Yeah.
It's like the bottom lane is having all the fun. I want to do something. Faker, on the other hand, has purely accepted his fate in the mid lane. He has picked Galio, and he's clearing waves, and that's it.
Yeah.
Had some moments where he was going in with taunts onto Lucid and stuff, but that's about it. And guess who's in the bottom lane once again? It is Owner.
You have Essence Reaver on Smash and Mandate on Korea on the Nami, so...
Don't forget the Scout Slingshot.
That item just... There are some items in this game that you see them and you're like, okay, that's an item. That's damage, right?
Yeah.
You know, like Ghostblade. That item looks intimidating.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, I say that on some champions, I'm like, oh, right? On an assassin, like,
Sky.
Yeah. Sundered Sky, that's a good looking item. Scout Slingshot, whenever I see that item, I'm like, oh.
Wow.
It just
What does that even do? Okay, this time the Gunblade and no cage, so maybe Siu, yeah, he's going to get stunned up, and I think he's got it here. No, one more auto, and there it is. Doran.
Redemption.
Extends it and picks up the kill.
Not Redemption the item, but like Redemption from his previous attempt. Yeah. He had Gunblade, not Redemption. That was, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, Scout Slingshot just looks so
useless.
unintimidating.
I mean, it doesn't feel like it does a whole lot anyway, as Career's just dead. Trying to trade here once again, getting baited into it. You know, they have Lucid, and they say, maybe we can take this. Well, your Nami's not going to survive. And that's the issue.
There was a Nami in that? I didn't...
Well, that's the thing.
I didn't see any Nami, you know. The lights went out and just vanished. So that's kind of what I think T1 can just keep doing consistently. A lot of damage available. We'll see the replay. So dodges the lob of mist and then actually uses the speed to get past the cage. So much damage done. And the extra AD from the Gunblade also helping here to get those last autos.
It kind of sounded like he cursed there at the end. But, oh, he said, thank God. Okay. But yeah, you can tell that he was feeling it after getting solo killed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at least he's able to get redemption. Not the item.
Yeah, redemption cannon would be a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up for us, Stan. And now we have some pressure on the Rift Herald. Top laners have moved down to the bottom side. But no big moves towards it just yet.
Figure house on the Rocket Belt. But you know, I think that's completely fair. I think there's not a ton of damage on the other side. I also think like as much as there's places where like the Bruiser build's good, I think you can just go like the Rocket Belt, high damage, Galio, fly in, and just explode people.
Looks like they want to go for a turn as Chains into Nocturne Ultimate into Dead.
Speaking of exploding people.
Where have we seen this before?
Yeah.
I swear I know that play from somewhere. As now, once again, two top laners going at it. This time Doran going to take a little bit more passively.
Yeah, kind of a more defensive ult there, so forces Shu away, but not really able to chase for the kill with the Maiden right on top of him. But they are really just trying to ruin the KDA of D+'s support in this situation. And doing a good job of it so far.
Lucid's trying his best. You know, he was the very fed one, but there's only so much he can do. And, you know, part of the reason why T1 came back is also based off of his play in the bottom river from earlier. So I'm sure he wants to get redemption for himself as well. Not the item.
Not the item.
Yeah. Culling is going to come down, and this time Lucid looking for that kill on a Paze who is sprinting away.
Just keep running.
Oh, flash over the wall, disengage. Cone gets him away.
Wait, did he get the auto off before? I mean, I guess he
kind of looks like Lucid hit it.
It looked like that, but I assume not.
Yeah, it would not have been a good idea to do so if he did.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It was hard to see in the moment when the flash came in. But either way, managed to get away from the situation, so good escape for Paze. Helped out by the Ghost Blade.
Let's see it. Yeah, that is a Pantheon auto.
He autoed the blast cone.
That's not the redemption he was looking for.
There's no way. I just automatically defaulted to there's no way that actually happened. There's no way that actually happened.
It did. It did.
I just Wow. Well, that happened.
Yeah.
That's a tilter. Do you know how Doran said after his solo kill, it's like, thank God? I can't even imagine what Lucid said after that. You know,
yeah,
he said
funnily enough, we didn't get that on there. I think we should, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That, that's a tilter.
Will Career learn this time? Nope. No, he won't. You know, I thought 6 times was the
you know what you said? Will he live? What is there to learn from this?
Don't clear the ward.
What do you mean?
Die.
Don't clear. Stand in the fountain?
Yes. No, just let someone else do it. Okay, this time they're going in on a Paze, and that should be enough, but it's getting so much damage, and he's even living.
He's alive.
Okay, well, he's dead, but Lucid will go down eventually as well. But, I mean, at least they get the kill, but man,
honestly,
how tilting can this get?
At least they got him. At least, you know, if the goal was to kill Paze and nothing else, just purely to kill Paze, they were successful. Get Dragon? No. Win the fight? No. Win the game? No. Protect mid tower? No. None of these things. Just purely to kill Paze, they were successful. If that's what we're measuring, then they achieved their goal.
Not again. Okay, he's okay. But he does have the tidal wave.
But unfortunately, the outcome of the series is measured more on their ability than on their ability to kill phase. This was pretty close to being the biggest tilter. A lot of peel from T1 coming in, and it was this spear though right at the end.
And Doran killed Smash, by the way.
Oh,
at the top of this fight.
Yeah. It's not looking good. It's not looking positive.
Oh, 가네.
He said he's disappointed.
Oh,
Pace
man.
died.
That's gonna
Pace has let down the grandpa.
That's gonna sting.
Mr. Grandpa Goat
Yeah.
here on the team is very disappointed with you, Pace. Faker's definitely he's a big time joker. He loves to poke fun at pretty much everything. So
Yeah. Wait, you don't think he was being serious with that comment?
yeah, no, I
That
don't
he
think
was
so.
smiling and laughing as he said.
He's always having a good time.
What do you think? Do you think on Deep? Do you think Showmaker is saying disappointed when Creator dies every time he gets triple ulted?
Play safe support.
Play safe. Creator's like, okay.
But this is the thing, like he has put himself in this position now where
Okay, I mean, what? You have to get vision somehow, you know?
well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like you need your support to get vision, but the trade-off is he dies.
Okay, then what are you supposed to do? Just never never leave the base?
I think he needs to move with Lucid and hope that it helps.
It
not gonna
doesn't.
be easy.
It doesn't. We've seen that. Lucid's been like 2 minutes away every time.
Well, no wards for you.
Look,
Or he could just die.
I'm all for criticizing when supports aren't playing well. And I'm not saying, like, you know, Chris having a great game, but I do think there's limited options. when
I'm disappointed.
when you're getting tag teamed by Owner and FaZe, just firing ults at you every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Limited options available, you know?
Yeah, I think he's feeling that. And unfortunately, that just means they really don't have any presence on the map. Like he was scared to clear that ward in his own jungle.
You know what I would say? I'd be like, you know what? It's okay. When we go to game 4, you don't have to play an enchanter.
Best of sevens. Best of 7 win. Given opportunity to career. Owner is kind of going 1v4. Thought that Keria would be following up. I think he got bubbled. So Keria wasn't quite there for the play.
Korea he's breathing a sigh of relief. His heart is beating at like 200 BPM. He's like, oh my god, it wasn't me. It wasn't me for once.
Yeah.
And look how quickly the ults are ticking back, right? He doesn't have much time.
Oh, trying to trap Doran in here as it is Lucid nearby. But yeah, I mean, he gets into the turret pretty quickly. It's a good thing Doran checked the brush early. Otherwise, you know, if he pushes up in the lane, maybe Lucid gets there with his ult and they can collapse. But not meant to be. And this one, you know, in terms of numbers, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't say like, oh, T1 ahead, 10,000 gold this time at 23 minutes, but it feels that way. As this time, Faker going to have to flash away. Keria attempting to help him out as well. The disengage cone comes in.
Yeah, get some clearance. Was flashed down from Faker. They did also lose Owner's flash earlier. So Deep Plus showing they have some fight in them. They will burn those cooldowns if you overstep. And it is a Chemtech soul, so not the biggest priority soul in terms of closing the game out. But it still just feels like existing is dangerous for D+, if you're a bit too far forward. There is that threat. Smash just finished his rapid fire cannon, so not the most inspiring combination of items on the solution, but just give him some extra range to play around with. Hayes has 3 full items, so...
And a Caulfield's Warhammer.
A little bit spooky. A little bit scary.
Yeah, 7 kills, 2.2k gold ahead on the Lucian. Will do that. And again, you can look at the map, like at least they've been able to get some wardage through like the top laner, through Lucid on the map. But again, Career doesn't get to ward. But in positions like this, you're not going to ult over the Pantheon at least, so able to stick around for now. I say that.
Oh my god.
I don't want to curse this guy, I swear.
Not talking, Brendan.
He's just kind of, Pace is just really good at the video game. I'm sorry.
He's trying to exist. They are setting up for the dragon. Faker has TP, but he's going for his top tower at the moment. They could just not contest this if they really wanted, but they are TPing.
Yeah.
They're like, we need to push the pace of the game. We want Soul, even if it's not the best.
Yeah, I think T1 will be happy that DK tried to go for the dragon. Although at this point, you did TP and DK all got away. By the way, the maiden just went down, so there is that. So now we got a fight coming in here. Owner's just going to go in on the career. I don't know if that was the best idea this time around, but it's okay. He gets low. The chains go down on the Lucid. Showmaker nearly dies to Doran, but he does get away. And now Faker trying to join on in. Lucid's still alive, and kind of a concave here for the side of D plus Kia. Faker getting kited down.
Oh, the arrow!
Pyro going to just go through the Galio, kind of hidden there. As he runs in a straight line, the bubble gonna catch Carrier. Maybe the spear gets him. As Lucid is on the right side, and they're nearly able to take out a couple of those guys there on the side of DK. And really, it's just Paige.
Oh no, the Nami!
He's just walking forward, and nobody can deal with this guy. Oh no! Run! Nah, he's accepted his fate. And that's the end of career once again.
What's one more death?
But at least DK, this is a much better fight compared to what we've seen so far.
Yeah, they actually managed to navigate it and get the dragon. I think the target selection, not the best from T1 for once. A bit of a fumble. I know the Nami is squishy, but when you're going for those quick picks, fine. But here, Ona kind of dives in and they're just not able to blow up Nami. And also, it's not the highest value target. It was just split focus. Some damage onto Korea, he disengages, some damage onto Showmaker, disengages, some damage onto Smash. Everyone peeling back, and then they kind of didn't have gas left in the tank. Now, this arrow from Paige was great, and that's when D+ kind of realized, hey, we cannot just run into this Varus who's firing out these big arrows. Paige was feeling so confident here. Look at him walking up. He's like, okay, I'll go. And D+ did have to respect that. He is the main threat on this team.
Yeah. That's one way to say it.
Yeah, but I think the target selection was a little off. Also, Ona flew in and Faker ulted down. It was just awkward. So T1 showing not the best coordination they've had this series, definitely not. But Pei's still a force to be reckoned with. And honestly, okay, I'm going to say something. If you subtract Korea's deaths from the kill score, they're even in kills.
That's not the way it works. But I do see what you're going for.
Yeah.
And just
you look at it that way, it's not so bad.
Not the biggest steal in the world. As the exhaust is going to come down. Showmaker does go in. They're looking for the turn this time around. But again, Owner kind of alone has Faker at least to follow up. But they're all super low on health, and it's really just Paige. It's Lucid. Takes an immense amount of damage, but it doesn't matter. As the rest of DK very healthy here, looking for that kill on a Paige. He flashes the charm as Carrier goes down, and the damage is just too immense. As Doran looking for the trade here on the Smash, who says, I'll just take the disengage cone. Career trying to tank the turret for him. And Smash takes the turret shot anyway. Maybe with York coming over, yes, he will be saved.
Honestly, slick getaway thanks to Career tanking the tower there. But Paige is on fire in these fights. Messy, I think, still the engage from T1. Coordination not quite there. But the Varus doing so much work.
He's just going in. Pace is still here. I think Shu thought he backed, but he was backing under the turret. Stops the back, and Shu's dead.
Yes, that did just happen.
Kill number 12. We're not even done yet.
We're not even done.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Not like this.
Smash doesn't have plans. Career, don't walk up.
Not like
you
this.
don't need to die again. You don't need to die again. The Baron's
still
just
here.
Doing so much damage to them. I think starting the Baron's a risky play. They have started Baron, I'm aware of this. As I'm saying this, I'm aware it's a risky play.
Yeah. Well,
you can ult in if he really wants to get in there.
I think eventually he will, although he's going to trade on the Doran first, maybe try to spark a turn, but the turn is not coming in, and that Baron's getting pretty low. As now the Paranoia comes down, and Lucid never pulls the trigger, as now they are going to go in, but this time Owner shows some more restraint. Charm is down. Spirit Rush also is down. Carrier looking at the front line. They're going to take it slow this time, and I think that's for the best. As eventually Lucid should go down. Not quite, though. Does walk it off. Has GA as well.
Yeah, not actually so risky if you don't get contested on the Baron. So T1 hold strong. They save the Paranoia till late to kind of zone them away, and Lucid just never dives in to contest the Baron. Here's that initial play. Got very scrappy here. We see how deep Ona ends up going, and the bot lane are able to disengage away. The Galio ult splits them, but he's so low already that he just kind of gets deleted in this situation. Pays here, dodging away from Showmaker with the flash on the charm, super late and able to blow up Showmaker as well. And then Doran's coming in, but this was a cute tower tank from Korea to let Smash escape. You can see he's waiting for him. I think he would have just died otherwise. Definitely would have just died otherwise.
As it stands, though, you know, a couple of closer fights. DK aren't totally out of this one yet.
Yeah, they're showing some life. It's good to see.
It definitely has been. We still have to get through this Rebel Baron power play on the side of T1, though. And they're taking plates on the inner turret. Pays, the max range, and that's going to be a lot of follow-up damage. As now, we do have the Pantheon coming in, trying to peel for him, and trying to get the angle there with Showmaker, but he doesn't quite have the charm, and Lucid, I think, will eventually have to pay the price with this GA. We do have Shu on the flank coming in, but Faker also there, trying to peel. Doran now just going to flex on everyone. Fast! Insane amounts of damage from this cannon. He's going to have to pay for it with his life, you would imagine. As there it is. Showmaker takes him down, but yeah, Faker and the rest of T1 just peeled off and kind of left Doran on purpose because they wanted to deal with Siu, who does flash. And they do have the follow-up as now Lucid comes in, picks up 1,100 gold. And looking for a bit more here. Carrier, though, going to get out of the cage, and they still have Owner, they still have Faker. And it doesn't look like Showmaker alone is enough damage to deal with this front line and the tankiness of T1 from ahead. Triple kill for Faker. And Career, they're looking to bully him further. It's not going to happen, though.
Messy fight, but Doran comes in, blows up the enemy AD carry. It's D+, they're trying to respond in kind, but they just don't have gas in the tank to continue the play beyond that. Definitely a bit of a crazy one. The Yorick flank, not something you typically see, because they dive in with the Pantheon. The peel's pretty good. It kind of stops Showmaker from getting to Pays and allows them to survive. But then we have this deep Yorick flank coming in, so they kind of have to peel away. And Doran's like, you know what? I have a lot of damage.
It is what it is. I'm going to send it.
Yeah. I respect it, honestly. It does buy time for the rest of the team to peel back and deal with the Yorick. So, you know, it did make sense. And then here, Shiva flashes in and try and hit Pays. Not really kill him, but that allows Lucid to finish him off. Big shutdown, and does take out the Varus, who was a big problem. But the problem is they just have nothing left at this point. Showmaker doesn't have ult. And T1 just kind of clean up these kills.
Now, just slowly chasing them down, burning them down. Galio and Nocturne definitely known for their combo, but if there's not a lot of threats on the enemy side, you can always chase them down. And Pace has done the most damage by a large margin.
Yes.
Not a big surprise.
He now also has GA, so going to be very hard to deal with, I think, is safe to say. GA and Edge of Night.
He used a large majority of his team's gold. We did see, like, next up in terms of gold were 3 members of D+ Kia after Pays.
He does have Flash again, which is good for him. So, not the easiest target to deal with. The thing is, he has, like, essentially double defensive, and he has both sums as soon as his barrier comes up just in a second. So, right now, though, we have Chemtech Soul coming up. Again, not the highest value Soul ever in general, but also just with that comp, not crazy value, really on some of the frontliners. Baron is up soon, though. And I have a feeling T1 will want to start it because it's T1, but also just their way of pushing further into the base. They managed to get all of the towers outside of D+'s base, but breaking the base a bit more of a problem.
Looks like Pays went back and picked up a Dirk. He definitely needs more items.
Yes.
Doesn't have enough yet.
Running out of space.
So next year, 80 carries get 8 item slots, yes?
I think so. I think they need more.
1 slot for an auto Infinity Edge when you finish
no.
your second 80 carry quest?
The thing is, I don't think that's what they need right now. I think it's unfair that top laners get to be level 20 and 80 carries don't. So I think they should get the top laner quest as well as their own quest. Do you not agree?
And everybody else just only gets 1 quest?
No, I think they should take away the other quests.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's more fair.
They should give 80 carries all of the lane quests. So they get mid quest, 80 carry quest, and top quest combined. That sounds... What
about support?
They don't care about that.
Oh. Yeah, they are 80 carries after all.
You want to give them wards? Okay.
They're not buying those anyway.
They're not placing those anyway.
Pays doesn't have any more room for wards anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody's got a face check eventually. Baron is coming up here in 5 seconds.
Oh, you can give them the jungle quest just so they could steal jungle camps.
They do that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But they can get more gold XP for it. And you know what? They would still complain about that roll being weak.
Oh, Pace. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's taking a huge amount of damage from Smash, who is trying to change the tone of this game. Just cullings them down. You can see Pace, he E'd backwards, so he was not ready for that.
Was not ready, and Carrier has to pay for the sins of his 80 carry. Smash doing a lot of damage, I think is what we're establishing here. He is also an 80 carry.
He is. And now we got Pace in a bit of trouble. He's going to have to use that barrier. We do have a defensive paranoia to come in. Faker just pushing top.
Yes.
Doesn't care about any of this noise.
He is just playing the macro game this series. Now has to find his way out of here.
He has heroic exit. Yes, I'm aware. Heroic entrance.
Yes, everyone understood the wordplay, but you have to explain it.
Well, eventually, okay, the flash charm comes in. He's going to go into his arm guard as well and just die.
Yeah, I mean it's because he has the rod already, so he's going to be able to get the fulls on you. So yeah, so
there it is.
Okay.
Do you send Baron? Yes, you do.
Yeah, I think this is the time. Barrett's coming from base. They might just be able to get this. TP's coming in. Oh, this is a great angle for Doran.
Yeah,
low Lucian is already.
Flash.
Oh my lord.
I don't think Pantheon. I mean, he's got GA up, but this is about to get very interesting. They're going to try to kill him and burst down the Baron while he's dead. And there it is. Even the spike goes to 15. It doesn't matter. T1 playing with their food, and DK thought this was their opportunity to come back, but in fact, it was just T1's to close the game out.
Oh, he tries to flash away.
No.
Oh, no.
No career.
Oh, man.
Well, that's Baron, and that's going to be Chemtech Soul.
Yep.
For T1.
She would just gets to recall?
The Elder Spawner.
He actually gets away because of the TP shield.
Yeah.
Wow. He's just living in his own world. The joys of being a Yorick. Well, that was certainly not the play that D+ hoped for, I think it's fair to say. T1, swift punish. Nocturne, definitely the champion you want in that situation. Kennen also a good champion to have in that situation.
Yes.
This is a good play for D+. The culling doing a lot of damage. Lucian just able to absolutely shred there. Yeah, just turns carry to paper. Late game sports, not doing so hard. And speaking of late game sports, we will get to see the demise of Korea again. Here, the ult just comes in. The smite a little off, it doesn't matter. Lucid is dead. Twice.
That one arrow in the smash. It's like 75% of his HP.
Yeah. They buffed this champion.
Yeah, they did. Heroic exit. This time it gets him out.
Oh, just, you know what that was? Chemtech's whole value.
Yeah.
Just survives.
Just for Faker. I like how they show it right there, like while below 50% health. Yes, that is the way it works. And now we got TP coming in from Faker. All of DK are alive. The bubble timing not on points. Can be a little bit confusing with the new TP as well. But either way, going to take down the bottom inhibitor. And T1 just trying to end this one on good footing and not have any close calls with Smash again.
No, I just want Korea to live. You know, I think he's died enough in this game. I don't think the Nexus is long for the world with the current state of the game. But if Korea can just not die again, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't think T1 feel the same, though, is the thing. Rounding the bend here is Faker, and Doran is going to spread everybody out and go into his Zhonya's, force the GA to come out here. They do get the kill. Owner is pretty low, but eventually he goes to his own GA. And I think this is just the final death throw. No, Korea, please! Yet again! They didn't have to do that, but we do know that Faker will always do that.
Oh, how
He
many?
takes him out for the 9th time in this game.
No, it's only 9. It's not 10. You can get double digits.
And that's the end. That's the end of the series. T1 just crushed them in 3 games. It was not close. It was not long. And Team Kia will have to figure it out as we move into play-ins and playoffs.
Honestly, I don't think, was that game more competitive? It was definitely more competitive. Was it more competitive than game 2? Yes, probably.
Yeah.
1?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Not more than game 1.
Yeah. I think this was clear display that T1 have ramped up. You know, they are locking in as we look towards playoffs, which they have now locked into, and they are in terrifying form. They haven't played Gen G yet, obviously, as they're in the same group, and that is a clash that I am definitely looking forward to, because right now these two teams are definitely looking like the best in the league. D+, they were the team in the other group where, like, if a team can take them down, D+ might be that team who can do it. Well, this did not look even remotely in the same realms.
Yeah, it did not. As you got to pick a POM.
Who is my POM?
I don't know. Who is your POM? Really putting you on the spot here.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, Pays is going to get votes.
I think Pays was really good in game 3.
Yeah. He had the Kaisa as well, but it wasn't all about him. Like, he played the Kaisa well, but required people to enable him. Game 1, he was just kind of playing Jhin, so wasn't super flashy.
You know who I actually think it is?
Faker? This one, I feel like it's not that obvious. Group Baron is going to hit 14 points, and the match tomorrow is going to decide